Find the big right hand, and that, I tell you what, Spencer, a fight we thought was going to be a bowl-over victory for Anthony Yarde turned out to be something very, very different. That, for the London favourite at the age of 33, the man who's twice come close, in his mind anyway, to a world title, that was a worrying fight for him. And he'll be relieved if he's got the referee's scorecard in his favour.
Yep, Anthony Yarde started a huge 16-1 on. Favourite entering this contest. Most people, including ourselves, thought that this fight would be over by the halfway point, but Ralph Wilkins proved tough, durable, resilient, and just kept chipping away and made life very, very difficult for Anthony Yarde, who I think, yep, he's maybe nicked it by a couple of rounds.
I've got it about that, about one or two. I don't think it's wider than that. If it is wider than that, you're going to be saying, whoa, that was a bit of a hometowner.
Yeah, little wake-up call for Anthony Yarde there, and it's very difficult sometimes to motivate yourself when you're going into the contest of this magnitude, knowing what's in front of you. You can take your eye off the ball, and I think that's what we saw there from Anthony Yarde.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 full rounds, we go to referee Victor Laughlin for his official decision. He sees the contest 98-92, declaring your winner, Anthony the Beast from the East, Yarde!
Well, he gets it there, but Adam, watching with Gareth back in the studio, I think it's fair to say that Spenny and I thought that Ralph Wilkins was coming a lot closer.
With all due respect, gentlemen, you were both absolutely right. I have no idea what Victor Laughlin scored there, to be fair. 98-92 is extremely wide for what we have just witnessed. Anthony Yarde, for a large percentage of that fight, was laboured, he was sluggish, and he was getting pinged. And Ralph Wilkins absolutely won a good percentage of those rounds. I'm not saying that he won the fight. I think maybe the knockdown and one more round in Anthony Yarde's favour got him over the line. But as you've rightfully pointed out, that's incredibly worrying for a lad that is talking about the likes of Joshua Buatsi and that level of opponent, and hopefully getting himself back to the level of opponent that he's faced in the past of Beterbiev and Kovalev. He was miles off it tonight.
I agree, Adam. I mean, I felt quite a lot of consternation during that fight. Obviously, the first round was a 10-8, but then I gave, I think you give Yarde 5 other rounds, but he lost 4 of them. Wilkins came to the UK from 90% of his fights in Riga, Latvia, a relative unknown, 17-1 on his career, and I thought he did very well tonight. I really do think that Yarde hit him, I say, in the first millisecond of the fight with that long right hand, and thought, do you know what, I need to get some rounds in here. And as he was doing it, he allowed Wilkins into the fight. And Wilkins, who I don't think Anthony knew a lot about, he didn't even remember his name this week, by the way, when we had him on the podcast with us. Wilkins grew into the contest. I don't think it was an 8 rounds to 2
no, absolutely
decision
wasn't.
that Victor Laughlin scored it. But for me, he's got the rounds in. He looked, laboured is the word. He did not look very sharp. The power wasn't there. The snap wasn't in him. And it was a slothful performance without being too harsh on him. But that's the kind of guy I expect him to get out of there. I want to get Joshua Buatsi back with the guys, because I'd love to get, obviously he's there, I'd love to get his view on what he thought of that at some point tonight.
Listen, what level is Anthony Yarde at? Because
that was domestic level.
I'm still none the wiser.
Minus domestic level. That was. It was a workman-like performance. This is a guy, Anthony Yarde, who's got a reputation for destroying opponents. He didn't do that tonight. He got involved in a kind of messy, domestic-style boxing match when he should have been sitting back, setting traps, throwing hard punches. He came out in the 5th or 6th and tried to do it, but it was too late by then.
John, what's the feeling ringside regarding that performance? Because as it went on, it felt like, just atmosphere-wise, consuming it through the background of the commentary, that people were starting to lose a little bit of interest. I even heard a couple of boos in there. Yeah,
there was at one point, wasn't there? And Anthony is being interviewed and speaking to the crowd right from ringside, and Spenny's got his microphone up there. We'll be getting a word the moment that Sky have finished with him, and Joshua Buatsi is also being spoken to there. But at ringside, it was anything but ecstasy from the Yarde fans, you know. And I mean, I'd hold my hand up and say, yeah, I love watching this guy fight. I've commentated him on many, many times through his career, but the reservations you have, I think, are those throughout the game. And I think that Spencer is going to be able to get in there any moment now and get to Anthony Yarde, who's got Tunde Ajayi alongside him. Spencer, can we go across to you now?
Yeah.
Can you pick it up? Here we go.
Yeah, I'm just with Anthony Yarde now. We'll just grab a quick word with Anthony. And Anthony. Yeah, just with Anthony now. Listen, Anthony, that proved Ralph Valkins, he proved a tough customer in the end. We wasn't expecting that. We thought you was going to get the job done early when you started, but that proved quite tough.
Exactly, it's boxing. You know, I don't like to have any bumps and bruises on my face. But yeah, I got caught with some shots today. Again, I'm one of them guys that, you know, when you're sparring, you can walk through shots like when someone's throwing 1-2s and you're walking through them. But then, again, in this kind of environment, small gloves, them little ones are getting through. But again, it's all experience for me. I didn't get hurt at any time. He is tough. And what I learned was, because I dropped him in the first round, I think mentally I said I can knock him out any time.
I said exactly that. Sometimes that can be the worst thing for a fighter. The very first right hand that you threw, you caught him with, and that maybe like took you off the ball a little bit. And sometimes you know, you can be guilty of going off the ball after that.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. Well, listen, and I know you've got to go now. Thanks so much for catching up with us, mate. Back to you guys in the studio.
Spencer Oliver catching up with Anthony Yarde in the aftermath of him getting a wide points decision victory courtesy of Victor Loughlin. I don't think it was that wide in the end, but he gets the job done, beating Ralph Wilkins on points after putting him down with the very first punch of the fight. It's hard to process that particular performance because there's loads that I want to say, but maybe you take a step back and go, listen, he's been out the ring for a bit, maybe there's a little bit of rust there. Maybe he's a big-time player because we've seen Anthony Yarde be miles better than that when there's jeopardy in the other corner. When he faces the best of the best, he does raise his game. But when he comes up against these lads with padded records that we don't know too much about, tonight was a meandering performance.
I think he admitted it in the interview with Spencer just there, Adam, that when he knocked the guy down, when he knocked Ralph Wilkins down with the first punch of the fight, literally seconds into the fight, he relaxed too much. He allowed him into it. He's probably going to... looking at his face on the monitor when he was interviewed, he looked disappointed in himself. He's a little bit marked around the face. I don't think Wilkins is a big puncher, but Wilkins is a dogged, a real pro, a 30-year-old pro called The Train, by the way. And he was a runaway train tonight for Anthony Yarde, who really, for me, wasn't accurate enough, wasn't powerful enough, relaxed too much in those early... As he said, I knew I could get him out of there any time. He knew there was no power coming from Wilkins. He was never really troubled, Anthony, but he was caught at times when he shouldn't have been caught. Very disappointing performance. That's a 5 out of 10.
Is the Buatsi fight the fight that absolutely has to happen next? Given the stage of career that both of these two guys are at, given the landscape of the division with what we saw last weekend and maybe we're going to see again in the not too distant future with Bivol and Beterbiev going again, is that the fight that absolutely has to happen next?
Yeah, it is. It's his 30th fight. Joshua Buatsi's behind Anthony Yarde in terms of time in his career, but the Rio Olympics is 8 years away after he turned pro, after winning a bronze medal there and being a great prospect. 8 years is long enough, and we've waited 2 or 3 years for these two men to meet. They've been on a trajectory together. There's money in the sport right now. Boxer and Ben Shalom, the promoter of Boxer, involved with Sky, have signed a deal with Riyadh Season that was announced last night. This is the time to make that big fight, sooner rather than later.
Well, fingers crossed it is sooner, and I'm sure there's a lot of British fight fans that would love to see that happen on British soil. A little earlier on this week, of course, Ben Shalom and Boxer and Turki Al Sheikh announced that partnership, which might see a few more quid thrown into the Boxer coffers, of which then satisfies the boys when it comes to their purses, and we can get that fight on. And I'm sure it'll do an O2 Arena or something like that, wouldn't it, where people would buy tickets and come out to see Anthony Yarde and Joshua Buatsi go at it, whilst Bivol and Beterbiev sort themselves out at the very top end of the light heavyweight division. Now then, let's turn our attention towards that main event, shall we? Gareth and Spencer have been catching up with super lightweight Adam Azim this week. He said that he'll be putting friendship aside when he steps into the ring against Ohara Davies in a few moments.
you know, when that first bell goes, you know, I still got respect for him, but, you know, it was straight into switch mode, straight into fight mode, straight into who's going to win the fight.
And you was the young man that, you know, so he was the guy, yeah? So, he's the one that's playing around with you. How do you psychologically overcome that? Because I was talking about that, how difficult it must be for you, because you're going in that ring remembering that he's the guy, but now it's your time. Tell us about that.
It's just like, I never thought it would come to this, you know. I'm still
That's
remember,
right,
I still remember
exactly
the
it.
days like the back of my head. I still remember the days I used to train with Tunde, Anthony Yarde, Ohara. It'd also be Bilal Ali, heard of him? Bilal Ali.
I know Bilal. Came to the
Ali.
studio. He's a very interesting guy who gave up the sport but has come back.
Him. Yeah. Like, I know him for years, like, and you know, me and Bilal know each other for years, and we used to be in the same, you know, camp together, all of us. So it's just looking back at it, it's just like now it's just like something different. Now I've got to fight him, and you know, it's nothing personal, just business.
But like the psychological side, is that easy to overcome though, knowing that, you know, like you've always looked up to him, now it's your turn to try and take the baton?
Have you looked up to him?
Yeah, of course.
Do you look up to him? Do you actually look up to him? When did that stop?
No, of course, I've always looked up to him. Like, you know, when I was a kid, like, I've always, you know, Tunde used to tell me, like horror, you know, watch the way he throws his jab, look at the way he throws his right hand.
He was like the man of the gym, wasn't he?
So were you about 15 when you started sparring with him then, or not?
No. So I was 8 years old, 9 when I was coming to see.
He's 11 years older, isn't he?
Yeah, 11 years older. And then I officially sparred Anthony Yarde when I was like 12 or 13, because obviously at that time.
Like really officially. That's like me sparring Spencer Oliver now and him beating me up every 5 minutes.
That means that he was just taking a light on me. Because
Well, he's going somewhere else for that then. I'm glad you said that.
but what did that? That's an amazing thing to do, though. I know the story's out there, but did that light a fire in you that day when you thought, I'm in here with this big lion, and I'm actually doing my thing?
That's what I'm saying. How does he overcome that even now? Because I'm talking as an ex-fighter. When I was sparring people, and I had to overcome that. When I boxed one guy for the Southern Area type, Patrick Mullins, was like he was always the man.
I love Paddy Mullins.
He was older than me. So when we're fighting, all the boxing media are going, Spencer Oliver wins inside 6. But I remember him kicking the out of me when I was actually growing up. So I'm going, I've got to overcome it, going, I know I'm going into a hard fight here. It's harder than people think. You're in this position right now. That's why I'm asking you how you overcome it. Because I'm going, when he hits me a 3, I'm going to hit him a 4. If he hits me a 4, I'll hit him a 5. You know, like, and that was my thing. I thought, I've just got to do enough and just keep going, whatever it takes. I was prepared to go there. And that's why I'm asking you.
Of course, like, it's hard to overcome it, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I got Joshua Buatsi versus Aziz. They were very good friends, but they had to fight each other. Look, it's business at the end of the day, but no, the respect will be there straight after the fight.
Adam Azim catching up with Spencer Oliver, and my man sat next to my right, Gareth Davies, a little earlier on this week. He seems cool, he seems calm, he seems collected. But tonight, even though that he's achieved a great amount of things at 22 years of age, becoming European champion a couple of fights back, and obviously he's reneged that belt now since, I personally see this as a step up this evening. What challenges does he face against Ohara Davies?
Massive step up for him. It's a real crossroads fight for him. As you say, he's got to compartmentalise where he is against a guy who he looked up to growing up, a guy that's fought at world level against, he's only lost to Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor and Ismael Barroso. I'm talking about Ohara Davies. He's got huge long arms, real power. If he turns up tonight with 28 fights in the locker already against a very young fighter, this could be dangerous for him. Adam Azim's got to go to work early, Adam.
Absolutely. Spencer Oliver is ringside at the Copper Box. I believe that he's with Chris Billham-Smith, who's got a blockbuster on the way, a unification in his division against Zedor Ramirez. Over to you, Spence.
Yep, I am here with Chris Billham-Smith. Chris, great night of boxing we've seen so far. Anthony Yarde there just seemed to labour through to a victory there. What did you think of that performance?
Yeah, I did think it showed that he was. It was a late notice fight for both of them. Do you know what I mean? He's probably been ticking over in the gym, but he'll be a lot better than that when he needs to be, I'm sure.
Listen, I know your gym mate Adam Azim going in here against a potential banana skin in the Ohara Davies. Really a coming-of-age fight for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big name. It's a big domestic match. Somebody knows, so someone else mentally he's got to go through, but he's got to put that to one side and just go and beat Adam Azim.
Yeah, he's just got to take his time to be careful. Don't get wrapped up in the occasion because Ohara can whack.
Yeah, for sure. He's shown that in the past. and he's an awkward fighter as well. And you can look at his last fight and see that he got stopped and go after him. But you've got to be smart.
It's a huge night for you coming up November the 16th out in Saudi Arabia. Gilberto Ramirez, you must be so excited about this one, unification.
Yeah, absolutely. Me 10 years ago fighting a unification fight out in Saudi, doing a press conference in LA would have been absolutely buzzing with this situation. And I have to remember that when through the tough days of camp. So yeah, I'm enjoying camp and I cannot wait.
Listen, there's some big fights out there for you in the division as well. We saw Jai Opataya perform brilliantly against Jack Massey. What did you think of that performance?
Yeah, it was a good performance. Jack kind of backed off, and I thought he'd try and put the pressure on a bit more. But yeah, it was a solid performance from Jai. He didn't really put a foot wrong. Pretty punch perfect, and it's great for me. I've got to go and do a job, but then hopefully we can get it on. Yeah, brilliant. Well, Chris, always good catching up with you, mate. As Adam Azim now comes into it, I'm going to throw back to you guys in the studio.
Spence, get yourself back ringside, my friend, because this is the fight that everybody's going to be tuning in for. Don't forget, a little bit later on, we do have a British title fight involving Dan Aziz as he takes on Lewis Edmonson. We're going to try and bring you that before 11 o'clock this evening right here on talkSPORT. But right now, making his way to the ring, giving it a little bit the old John Jones walk out there, is Adam Azim. Already in the ring is Ohara Davies, and Azim draped in purple and white, set for his biggest test so far. What we need to see tonight, in the hope of obviously catching the imagination of the casual fight fan, hurtling him towards something like a Dalton Smith next year, is a flashy performance. We want to see cool, calm, collective. We want to see him take apart an experienced pro in Ohara Davies, and then go through the gears and get the finish.
Absolutely. If you want to think Adam Azim and you don't know who he is and you're watching us and you're just switching on, you're looking at Amir Khan in his early career. Fast, flashing fists, self-belief, real warrior, wants to fight, will go out there and deliver. Watch him start very, very fast. But what he needs to do is sustain it. This is a test tonight of his chin, of his capabilities, of his growing maturity against a guy who's capable of upsetting him if he stays in the second half of the fight. Adam Azim needs to get him out of there early, Adam.
Absolutely. And from an Ohara Davies point of view, listen, let's cut this straight. The guy's coming off the back of a world title loss, and it was slightly embarrassing for him, in his own words, because it was a first-round blowout against Barroso, who is a man that is familiar with a lot of British fight fans.
He's a world-level operator, basically.
Oh, absolutely. But he got blown out in a round, and therefore, in that rich vein of form, he got to America, he got to Las Vegas, he got his world title shot, and he ended up prematurely. Tonight, massive opportunity for him to bounce back and say, hang on a minute, I'm still a player at 140 pounds.
What he gets tonight, even though he's lost to Jack Catterall, he's lost to Josh Taylor, elite level operators, if he beats Adam Azim or he exposes something about him, there will be a rematch, right there, like there'll be for Liam Cameron against Ben Whittaker. It's that kind of night for a man who's very experienced. He'll get a massive payday in the rematch. As I've said many times, he could become the Derek Chisora of the 10-stone division, the guy that everybody could come and fight, the guy that's crossing into a cult figure. He's an extraordinary character. I've been around him all week. He's so honest, he's so real, he's so engaging, he's got an amazing energy, and he needs to come and deliver tonight. If he doesn't, he'll get blown away by Azim.
I've got multiple monitors going on in the studio at the moment, because over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, you've got Battle of the Giants, Francis Ngannou, who's back in the world of MMA. I'll try my best to keep you across that, should he hit the ring at some point before 11 o'clock. But right now, the focus is on the copper box, the focus is on the boxing, and the focus is on Adam Azim and Ohara Davies. You just heard Big Mo introduced Ohara, 2 times Davies there. So let's get back ringside to Spencer Oliver and John Rowling for the introduction of Adam Azim.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with purple trim, he stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 10 stone even. He holds a perfect, undefeated professional record of 11 victories, opposite no defeats, with 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Slough, England. Introducing the former European super lightweight champion and one of boxing's newest youngest and fastest rising superstars in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the assassin, Adam Azim!
Adam Azim straight into centre ring, waiting for Ohara Davies to come out of his corner. Ohara Davies having a last prayer in the corner, and now the two are head to head.
There, so anything on the belt's good, okay? I've already spoke to you both. You know what I expect. Stay professional, obey my commands, and most of all, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, boys. Good luck to you.
Important that Davies makes a decent start here. Knocked out in the first round back in January. How much of an effect has that had? How much of a psychological effect? Adam Azim, so well-spoken, so intelligent outside the ring, is fast, accurate and destructive inside the ropes.
Yep, he certainly is. And Adam Azim has been boxing very, very well in his development as a professional. 11-0, 8 of those wins coming inside the distance, winning that European title in his 10th fight. Very, very impressive, but he's up against a big puncher, dangerous puncher in Ohara Davies.
The defeats he had prior to his last outing, Ohara Davies, against Josh Taylor and against Jack Catterall. I think the observation of most at ringside then, I think it was myself and Richie Woodall commentating on that one, and we thought that he didn't really show the ability to go through the gears. While he was dangerous and had that punch power, he didn't really flick the switch when he needed to, and he's going to have to be at his best if he's going to live with the speed and precision of Azim tonight.
Yep, and Azim started very well here, holding centre of the ring, drilling that jab out, whipping that jab out with good accuracy as Ohara Davies just covers up, looking to draw Azim in.
Azim with 8 wins inside the distance in his 11 fights, trained by Shane McGuigan. I was speaking to Father Barry McGuigan, of course a ring legend himself, and he said, yeah, this could be the one where he really signals his intention. Oh, good right hand from Azim, beats Davies for pace. Davies couldn't get the blocking left hand up there, takes the punch, but indication there that he could be vulnerable to the speed of Azim in this very first round.
Yeah, blistering hand speed of Adam Azim, who lands another good right hand, just pulls a smile there from Ohara Davies, but Davies on the retreat here in this opening round as Azim again whips in another right hand.
He's got such good hand speed, Spencer, and he's showing that in these early exchanges, Azim. And so far, Davies has not really been able to find the targets himself to test Azim's ability to take a big shot, but Azim showing accuracy and speed. 2 more left hands to the body. He's looking for the opportunity to land a big right hand over the top. Another jab from Azim.
Dominant opening here from Adam Azim as he takes the centre of the ring, looking to work everything off that jab. Ohara Davies moving around the perimeter, just misses a right hand that goes over the top of Ohara's head, but a slow, laboured look around the jab there of Ohara Davies, and all the momentum at the moment in this opening round with Adam Azim.
And not surprisingly, Davies not showing too much confidence in the closing seconds of an opening round, which Adam Azim has absolutely dominated with some beautiful boxing and the hand speed and the accuracy. You can see why respected judges are drawing similarities to himself and Amir Khan. That was a good 3 minutes.
Yeah, brilliant start there from Adam Azim, who dominated right from the opening bell, working well behind the jab, throwing good right hands as well. One of those landed and nearly spun Ohara Davies round. Davies spending a lot of time moving around the perimeter, cutting up, catching the shots, but nothing really effective coming back from Davies. Now, we must remember, John, both of these guys shared a gym together as Adam Azim was growing up. Ohara Davies was actually the guy of the gym. He was the man. And how things have turned around here, the psychological battle Adam's had to overcome to, to get himself in this position. What a good start.
What a good start indeed. And Shane McGuigan, I'm sure, is going to be absolutely delighted with what his man showed in those first 3 minutes. Of course, Adam Azim, when he sparred Ohara Davies in the Peacock Gym those years back, he was a pretty fresh young kid, and Davies at that time was at the peak of his power and moving towards the biggest nights of his contest so far. Whether Davies is going to be able to produce that sort of level now is a very much a moot point. He tries to throw that left, rangy left-hand lead of his, misses the target and misses again. And then forward comes Azim, trying to double up with his own left jab. This time Davies beats him to the punch and scores with the left-hand lead, and another one. That's better from Davies. Needs more of this. Somehow has to find a way to settle into the rhythm, and he showed him a bit of a left hook there. Turned the left jab into a hook and found a scoring punch. But Azim is pushed back, and this is better work from Davies now, throwing that jab with a bit more authority.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed. Davies now, he's punching as Adam Azim throws, and that's probably the right tactics because he's lacking the speed of Adam Azim, so he needs to punch. The timing has to be perfect, and he started this second round well.
It's the old boxing adage, which I'm sure they'll have said to Ohara Davies: be first, take the initiative away from the other guy.
Yep, and that's exactly what he's done here in this second round, as Adam Azim just misses narrowly there with the right hand, razor sharp right hand, but Ohara Davies effective with the jab there. Good round this, the second round.
Yeah, Davies is just settling into a bit more of a rhythm after being shocked a little in the opening round by the blurring hand speed of Azim, and Davies has had the better of the first couple of minutes or so. Another good scoring jab from Davies, so then comes Azim, scores with the jab, tried to follow up with the left hook but missed the target with the hook. Jab from Davies, he's trying to create a small target, isn't he? He's trying to make Azim punch down. He's accentuating the fact that he's the smaller guy.
He has, and as he's got as deceptively long arms as Davies, and he carries a lot of weight with that right hand, and that was very, very close there. Just missed narrowly by that, but yeah, he's coming in, crouching low. Adam Azim punching down. Davies looking to set the trap and come back with that right hand.
Well, this is a much better round from Ohara Davies. 30 seconds to go, and the way it's gone so far, maybe Davies is edging this one. Another scoring jab for Davies. We're going to go to the Azim corner and hear from Shane McGuigan, who's such an articulate exponent of what a fighter needs at any stage of a fight. You get some trainers and cornermen who will effing blind and try and rev their men up like that, but not so Shane McGuigan, always calm and articulate. Davies covers up as Azim tries to throw a left-hand, right-hand combination, misses with a jab, and then a right hand does come over the top. Good second round, but Davies might have done enough there. Shane McGuigan looks across to the other side of the ring and then settles down with his man. Here he is.
Just trying to lull you in, so the more you just keep switching him off with them feints, yeah? How you feel? Yeah, good. Good? Yeah. Getting his range now, yeah? Yeah. You got his range? Yeah. Line up that jab now, line up that little flick, because he can't read it. Sharp, next time flick, flick. Yeah. That flick, flick brings you close, then go left hook, right hand, or right hand, left hook. Okay, stay on the twos. Yeah. Okay? Fast singles, then when he starts bracing, touch, 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 bing, bing, touch, touch, hook drive, yeah? Just got to find a home for that right hand or find a home for that left hook, but you got to use the first one just to nudge him out of place, okay?
Well, there you are, there's the advice that Adam Azim's getting. I think the Davies corner will be pleased with the way that second round went.
Yep, good round there for Davies for sure, but that was good advice there from Shane McGuigan, not sitting in the pocket too long, just setting up with the jab and throwing the singles and the 1-2s, because Davies, as we know, is very, very heavy-handed, and Azim will want to just grow into this, take his time, just steal these rounds and find his range, but Davies looking dangerous.
And 18 of Davies's 23 professional victories have come by stoppage, which underlines the fact that he's always been a heavy-handed fighter, although at the age of 32. There's the obvious question after 26 paid encounters, is he the man he once was? Tries to throw a big rangy overhand right, only a glancing blow, but it didn't miss by much. The two of them exchanging jabs, and who's getting the better of those jabbing battles there? Who's got the finer accuracy and the greater power with that shot?
Well, I think that Ohara Davies has certainly got the power, and he's trying to close the space here, but Adam Azim doing well of controlling that space, just beating Davies to the shot, landing a solid jab there, razor sharp jab there as well, but maybe just the edge at the moment with the speed and the accuracy of Adam Azim, but Davies still very much in this.
Yeah, key stage of the fight, this third round. It's a 12-rounder, this super lightweight contest here at the arena in the Olympic Park. Misses with a left hand, Adam Azim. Davies parries it, keeping that right hand clamped to his chin, isn't he? Ready to try and parry and block the razor-sharp jab of Adam Azim. The copper box crowd with their eyes on the ring here. The most important fight in the 12-fight professional career of Adam Azim, just 22 years old.
Yep, you can just feel the mutual respect from both of these guys at the moment. No one really wanting to commit themselves. Both guys trying to find the range with that jab so they can land that right hand. Another close round this, the third.
It's a very, very important phase, and an overhand right this time from Davies. Good scoring shot, maybe his best for some time. Now has his gloves up high, trying to lure Azim in. Got that right hand cocked, looking for an opportunity to throw a real power shot by way of a counter. Right hand from Azim, and two more jabs from Davies. Good round this, tight round.
Yeah, Azim maybe just winning it just on the accuracy and the speed of shot, but Davies looking very dangerous and doing the right thing here, just keeping the distance, just narrowly misses with the right hand there, Davies, and just tries to wind it up. Is he growing in confidence, John?
Well, he's fancying it, there's no question about that, and he's goading Azim, trying to get him to come in so he gets the chance to wrap that big right hand, and the two of them exchange power shots right on the bell. Good round that, best of the fight so far, Adam.
How good's this? This is top stuff now. I thought the first round we were going to get a very one-sided display because Adam Azim's speed, accuracy, footwork, everything was on point in that first 3 minutes. But fair play to Ohara. He's gone back to the corner, he's recalibrated, he's come back out, and he's asking some serious questions. This is a proper fight now, Gareth, isn't it?
It really is, and we talked about the composure of Adam Azim coming into this fight. It's a really big occasion for him, and I want to talk about him because I think he's looked very good so far. He's not overreaching, he's respecting Ohara Davies as he should, but the longer this fight goes, that big right hand of Ohara is going to become more dangerous for me.
Yeah, interesting that, because I see that as well. Ohara Davies just narrowly falling short with a couple of right hands there, and one of them was right on the bell, and if he catches Adam Azim, he'll know about it.
Move into the fourth round. Right in the balance, this one. I think it's 2-1, one way or the other. I've got it just in Ohara Davies' advantage, having taken that last round. Spenny's got it the other way.
Yep, I've got it, maybe Adam Azim just stealing that third one, but look, these are very close rounds. We won't know what way they've gone. No one really stamped their authority here in this contest as we reach the fourth round. But one thing I will say is Ohara Davies is growing in confidence. He's now the man on the front foot. He's looking to put himself in range for that right hand, which could be the key shot here.
Yeah, he's kind of the man who's controlling the space, isn't he? He's centering and looking to dictate the fight, and there's not quite the cocksure look about Azim that there was in the opening 3 minutes. Now he does land a left hook, and there's a little bit of a smile on the face of Davies, as much as to say, yeah, you can do that, but you've not hurt me. But then he comes in and scores again. Azim misses with a follow-up left hook, and then two pawing left leads from Davies, taken on the gloves by Azim.
Yeah, Azim just seems to have taken back control here in this fourth round. He's found the range and he's pot shotting really well, just flicking out the jab. Lovely uppercut goes in there as well, and Davies just seems to have lost a little bit of momentum as Azim now taking back control.
Well, he's put him out of his composure that he was increasingly showing in the last round. And Davies, as you said, was really starting to believe in himself and waving that right hand as much as to say, come on, walk onto it, I'm ready for you. Throws a couple of jabs now and then tries to follow up with a right hand over the top. And Azim just able to slip the punch, ducks underneath it, and now is centering once more. And where Davies was dominating the last round, now Azim seems to be the one dictating behind his own classy left-hand lead.
Yeah, controlling the space with that left hand, just misses wildly with a right hand there. Davies doing a good job ducking underneath it as both guys stand centre of the ring. There's a little bounce from Adam Azim there on his toes, and he's just starting to take control of it here in this fourth round.
Last 40 seconds of the fourth round. Azim standing tall, throws a left jab into the body and another one, then tries to bring in a chopping right hand, can't find the target with it and misses, and Davies smiles at him, but he didn't miss by very much, and he doesn't want to be on the receiving end of those shots. Last 20 seconds of the fourth round, and it's a close fight, but this is better from Azim. He's won this round and won it fairly clearly, to my way of looking at it. Into the final 10 seconds, we'll have a listen in to the Azim corner at the end of this round, but he's really dominated the last 30 seconds or so. There's blood coming from the nose of Ohara Davies, who taps the glove of Adam Azim in respect. Let's go across to the Azim corner, the red corner, and hear what's going on there.
You're seeing all his shots. You've got to be alert, but he's ready to go, okay? You just got to nudge yourself close, but be alert when you nudge yourself close, all right? Keep everything short now. Yeah, because you see them little right hooks and them right uppercuts are busting him up. You've got to do it up a check, all right? You see what I'm saying? That little short stubby jab. When you're nudging in, Adam, listen, when you're nudging in, don't forget to do that little short stubby jab. And then off that, you can check, boom, 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 or bang, bang. All right? Okay? 4 rounds done, mate, all right? How you feel? Yeah, good. You're hitting him and hurting him. Yeah. You can take him out. Yeah, yeah. Just be accurate. Don't go big. Just be accurate.
How are you feeling? I feel good. You can take him out. That's what they're saying.
Absolutely great advice there from Shane McGuigan in the corner. Just say, keep chipping away. You're busting him up. You're landing the jab. The short shots on the inside are just starting to break him down, and you're getting to him. Well, let's see as he lands a good left hook here at the beginning of round number 5.
It's a good round here, Ohara Davies, to slow the tide which seems to be flowing in the Azim direction. In the 5th round of 12, and the blood is still flowing from the nose of Ohara Davies, 32 years old, the older man by 10 years in there tonight. And Azim looks as though he's starting to chip away, and is he starting to get him going again here, looking for telling shots towards the head. Right hand just short of the target, 1-2 left jabs, pitter-pat, looks for the right cross, just misses. Ohara Davies misses with a wild right hook of his own, and Azim is dominating the space, and he's looking to go for him, and the nose of Ohara Davies is starting to be really busted up. The facial damage is getting worse and worse, and Azim is right on top. Ohara Davies misses with a desperate left uppercut and a left hook, and Azim is stepping forward, narrowing the gap and trying to give himself the opportunity to maybe land a really telling right hand over the top.
Yeah, Azim starting to turn the screw here, and Davies starting to feel these shots as he goes back to the rope. Nose bleeding heavily. Adam Azim pushing forward. Davies takes a big gulp, and the body shot goes in.
It was the left to the body which put him down, and the counts at 5, 6, 7. Is he going to want to go on? Well, he's got to his feet, and he nods to referee Mark Lyson and says, yeah, I can continue, but the question is for how much longer, because there's more than a minute to go in this 5th round. He lands a right hand to the head, Azim. He's looking for another body shot, then another right hand to the head. Misses with a follow-up after that. It's all Azim here. It's a blistering display of boxing brilliance. Another right hand to the body. He's shown speed, he's shown power, and he's got 50 seconds to get Azim out of there.
Yeah, Davies looking in desperate trouble, nose bleeding heavily as he crouches over, trying to protect himself from the body shots. Azim, all the momentum with him as the right hand goes in again. Davies in trouble again.
Davies is all over the place. He's looking to wing in desperate big hooks, has to absorb another right hand himself, but Azim is absolutely on top. Another left hook, 20 seconds to go in the 5th round, feints to throw a left to the body. He's not been able to repeat the pain of that damaging body shot that put Ohara Davies down earlier in the round. 10 seconds to go now in the 5th round, and I think Davies is going to see it through. Real bravery and experience from the Hackney man. Good body shot from Azim, right on target, and what a good round that was from the youngster from Slough.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something serious in the Ohara Davies corner here, because all the confidence seems to have been knocked out of him. The nose bleeding heavily. He was in desperate trouble from that left hook to the body that dropped him. He rose and he fought back, but it was all Adam Azim as he piled forward. Right hands, left hands, body shots. Ohara Davies in all sorts of trouble, and I'm not sure what he's got left, John.
Well, the body shots was kind of typical, the real painful one, wasn't it? The left hand, almost an uppercut buried into the solar plexus, and the pain from that didn't go. His emphasis and his determination for the rest of that 5th round was to block any follow-up onslaught like that, and still the blood pours from his damaged nose. And we're only now going into the 6th round. How much has Ohara Davies got left?
Yep, that is the million-dollar question. What has he got left? Well, I'm going to say not too much. This round, if Azim has another good round here, I think the corner are going to be looking at it very, very closely. I suspect the nose of Ohara Davies is broken there because it is bleeding so heavily.
Yep, and he's not fighting with an awful lot of belief now. He's fighting on bravery and on instinct. Pushes out the left-hand lead into the face of Azim, but it's not a punch, more of a push, more of a shove. Azim now has got his gloves held high. 2 more jabs, 1, 2, and a third. All land on the face of Ohara Davies.
Yeah, sickening jabs there from Adam Azim as Ohara Davies really starting to feel it here, looking busted up. He's fighting, as you say, John, on instinct, gritting his teeth, showing that warrior mentality, and he's going to need that right now.
He certainly is. Right hand to the body from Davies, did get through, and then he whips in a left hook to the head just to show Azim that he's not done for yet. Lands a left hand lead and a right cross. Azim a left lead of his own, and now tries to throw a 1-2 combination, taken on the gloves by Davies, who's fighting well. He's coming back well in this 6th round and showing real fighting resolve. Couple of jabs, misses with another one. Azim just waiting for his opportunity, but he's got to work for that.
He certainly has, because I tell you what, Ohara Davies is showing those gladiatorial skills. He's hanging in there, he's biting down his gum shield, and he's trying to come back here. Respect where respect's due, because we thought he was all down and out in that 5th round, and he's doing better. He's not winning, but he's doing better in this 6th round.
He certainly is. Just over a minute to go as he misses with a big attempted right hook, padding right into the body and the left hand from Davies, who's really battled hard here in this 6th round. His career, maybe as a top-class contender, is on the line here tonight if he loses to Adam Azim, and certainly the indication, particularly with that 10-8 round in the 5th, is that he will lose this fight, but he's showing real bravery, and he's showing that he is a fighter right to his core.
Yeah, he certainly is. Adam Azim pushing forward. He now has Ohara Davies on the ropes, hands held high, and he's looking to get inside, looking to work the body of Davies, who covers up. Right hand goes in from Azim, rolls under the shot as well. Lovely stuff, textbook stuff this from Adam Azim.
Well, he was told that Davies was there to be taken, and Davies has not played that particular script, although a whipped left uppercut from Azim was hurtful. Shot under left to the body, that's hurting, and Davies is on the back foot again. Last few seconds of the round, Azim looking for a big shot, and he knew he had him going in the last few seconds of that round. But what bravery from Ohara Davies, Adam.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic from Ohara Davies to drag himself off the canvas last round and to stay in there and obviously give a real good account of himself in what you've just seen over the last 3 minutes. But I'm so impressed tonight with Adam Azim. I've been critical in the past maybe of him, of labouring through fights. Tonight I think he's been brilliant. Feet are on point, hand speed's on point, I think his defence is there as well. He is getting clipped a couple of times, but he seems to be able to be taking the power of Ohara Davies. I would love... What I'm feeling right now is that he's tenderising his opponent. We saw it in the last round, he went through the gears. Maybe he took his foot off the gas in that last round. Give it another couple, go through those gears again. If he can get a finish here, that's a big statement.
It's an immense experience for Adam Azim right now. That's the key. He's getting great experience here. He's targeting the body. He knows he can hurt the body. He's being told by his corner to go to the body and head. I think he gets the stoppage in this round finally.
We will see. We go now into the 7th round, and Adam Azim in this super lightweight contest, which you're listening to on talkSPORT with myself, John Rawling, and Spencer Oliver here at ringside in the copper box. Another good left hand to the body from Davies, but Azim is the one who's got the sharpness and the speed, and he's looking to get on the front foot again and maybe replicate what he produced in the 5th round when he had his man down with a left hook to the body. Yeah, he'll be looking for that again, Spencer.
Yeah, you just sense that Adam Azim now looking to get this job done and done inside the distance, but the resilience Ohara Davies is showing is incredible. I agree with the boys in the studio, actually. You know, where's he finding it from, Davies? Showing a lot of pride in there at the moment as Azim again whips in a short uppercut. Body shot goes in. Davies comes back with a good right hand of his own. But Adam Azim, all the momentum with him at the moment. Body shot, and John, he felt that one.
Yeah, he buried a huge left hand into the tough body of Ohara Davies, who looks in terrific shape. Physically, still looks a young man, although facially, he looks every one of his 32 years right now. Azim on the front foot, trying to work in the pocket, trying to bridge the big uppercut. He lands with a right hand, and for a moment I thought that Ohara Davies was going to go, but he didn't again. He shows huge battling, fighting resolve.
Yep, Davies struggling to breathe in there at the moment, as well as Azim taking a deep gulp of air and the blood flowing freely from the nose of Davies, who's showing incredible bravery. Throws a right hand, but Adam Azim stalking forward, looking for the finish.
A minute to go. Is Azim going to satisfy the prediction from the studio and get the victory here in this round? Well, he's looking for it. He's cutting off the ring. He's following Davies into a corner on the far side. Back comes Davies bravely. Left hand, right hand, aimed at the head of Azim. Right hand just misses. That was the power shot. And then back comes Azim. Fast hooks. Left hand, right hand. Feints to throw the left hand. Just taken on the gloves by Davies. Right into the body from Azim. And then misses as he whips across a right hook.
Yeah, Azim just trying to chip away, trying to slowly, systematically break down Ohara Davies, but Davies gritting his teeth, finding something from somewhere as the mouth comes open, blood flowing freely from the nose.
Body shot again, last few seconds of the 7th round. It's been a few years since Barry McGuigan was a boxing legend, but he's in there enjoying every shot that Adam Azim is throwing. We're going to go into the corner, and here in that red corner from Barry's son Shane, who's there with Adam Azim, and surely now they know that Ohara Davies is pretty much coming towards the end of his tether. Let's listen in.
Nice, you've got to keep finding that perfect space. We've got to tail through his gloves. Find that space on the inside, okay? There's 8 coming up, yeah? 7 done, Adam, alright? 7 done, there's 8 coming up. Well, I think it's big patient. Yeah, but just listen, his right hand's there. Don't just go applause of it. Don't forget to jab, alright? Keep doing what you were doing early. He's just more tired. Don't just go and lock horns with him, okay? Of the breath. He's enjoying it in there. You've got to try and still drop in and out, okay? Find that little... Left hook, and then finish on the left hook, but you won't get range with your left hook. Head or body, okay?
Carlos Moreno in the opposite corner trying to rev up Ohara Davies, but is he just trying to kick-start an engine which is now pretty much running with a flat battery?
Yep, look at the momentum now of Adam Azim, who's stalking forward. Ohara Davies up on his toes, moving around the perimeter of the ring, trying to draw Adam Azim in, but the pattern of the fight has really changed now. Azim, all the pressure, looking for the finish, and Ohara Davies slightly looking desperate in there at the moment.
Well, he flattered to deceive in the first 20 seconds, dancing around on his toes, but now he's back on the balls of his feet, and Azim is coming forward, hands held high, looking to create the opening for a power shot to really sap the resolve of Ohara Davies, maybe for the last time. Sorry if it sounds a bit one-sided, if it seems as though we're not talking too much about Ohara Davies, but I assure you that's the way it is. The dominance, the accuracy, the power, the confidence, and the man who looks more like a champion. Great shot from Azim. Down goes Davies, left hook, and surely as he shakes his head a little bit disconsolately, that's going to be the end. The white towel is being raised. Azim is up on the ropes, and here's the winner. He's won by stoppage, and he won it impressively with a brilliant left hook, thrown with devastating speed, accuracy and power, and this young lad really is a talent. He's put away a fighter who has been a top-class operator. Okay, he's maybe past his best, but Ohara Davies came here tonight to fight. Adam Azim was just too young, too fresh, too accurate, and ultimately too good.
Absolutely, that is exactly what it is, John. Too good, too young, too fresh. Perfect performance there from Adam Azim, who had some challenges going into that one. Psychological challenges, overcoming, growing up in the shadows of Ohara Davies, then getting in the ring with him. Yes, they're at different stages of their careers, but he still had to overcome that. That is a great developing fight there from Adam Azim, who's going from strength to strength and is clearly a world-class operator. Ohara Davies he give it a great performance, showed great resilience, great grit, determination and staying power, but ultimately, the end was clinical.
He's getting huge congratulations from his friends and family on the far side of the ring. I don't know if listeners who are with us on talkSPORT here right now heard him when he came into the ring, when he came into the studio rather, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and they're such a likeable crowd. He speaks with real politeness and respect, and he's a great lad, and it's great to see him really progressing in the sport as impressively as he is.
Yep, he really is. He's very, very infectious. There's a real innocence, a real purity around Adam Azim as a person, as a character. But when you see him in that ring, it's devastating, it's clinical, it's vicious. All of that together, it's exciting to watch, and I'm just loving being on the journey with him. This young man has already become European champion. Now he's took out a world-class operator, albeit maybe just past his best in Ohara Davies, but this is all the apprenticeship to take him on to those world honours, which, John, I believe is only a matter of time.
Well, he's got every chance, hasn't he, at this point? And as well as we watch a replay of that tremendous left hook, which is being shown on the huge screens above the ring, that left hook which ended the fight. He's a ticket seller, isn't he? The Slough supporters are here in numbers tonight, and that's a big point in his favour.
He's a huge ticket seller, like as he grows, his fan base is going to grow as well. With those sort of performances, that puts bums on seats. Very, very, very impressive.
And now we're going to get confirmation of the result. Big Mo has his script in his hand. Well, we know what it is. It's a knockout victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Lyson calls a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 18 seconds of the 8th round. Declaring your winner by knockout and still undefeated, Adam the Assassin Aziz.
Super. Absolutely super. Best performance of his young fledgling career so far. That was, to an extent, perfect. Okay, people might throw up, and his trainer might throw up a few flaws in the defensive game where he did get clipped a couple of times, but he took the shots. I thought Feet were beautiful, shot selection were great, speed was great, the choice of shots, body to head, was absolutely fantastic. He had the vicious about him as well when it came to the finish. That was a statement performance from Adam Azim.
Yeah, he broke him up, and it was a brilliant left hook finish. I thought it was a good, very, very fine performance by him tonight. I maintain this. He's still not ready for a Dalton Smith fight, though. I still think that's
his
a year
promoters
away.
promised it, is there?
But it will happen, but he's not quite ready yet. I think there were... He could have, for me, he could have got Ohara out of there a little earlier, but he was very patient tonight. Great bravery and courage, by the way, from Ohara Davies.
Well, there you go. So he was very tough. He's a seasoned pro. He's been at the very, very highest level, and he systematically broke him down.
I said it all the way along. I thought it was very composed performance. I thought he took a few shots very well as well. We know that Ohara punched well. That's a 9 out of 10 tonight for me, Adam.
Well, 9 out of 10 then surely warrants a showdown with Dalton Smith.
Let's do it then. Okay, signed. Signed.
That's as easy as you were flip. Listen,
I make who do you make the favourite in that contest?
Dalton, because of his age and experience and where he's been at. But that type of performance gets me excited, and I think all British fight fans should be excited about this guy.
Oh, we are. We are.
What he has just done tonight against a seasoned pro who has been at the highest level. Okay, fallen short at the highest level, but he's been at the highest level. Was absolutely fantastic. He never let Ohara really get into that fight. He dominated him with his range control.
He
and his
respected
jab.
him in the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with all those things.
And his speed was absolutely
he's incredible.
And
He's
the way
incredible.
that he took him out, I mean, he dropped him in the 5th with body shots, and then he took him out with a devastating left hand to the temple in the 7th there. Absolutely fantastic performance from Adam Azim. And obviously we're watching this from the studio. John Rowley's been in the lucky situation where he sat there ringside watching this. I mean, John, this guy's a special kid.
I think so, yeah. And there's some proud-looking people up there. The McGuigan clan all think that it's a job very well done. And if you didn't think that he was going to beat Dalton Smith before, I think that's a performance which will make a lot of people believe that he can. And I think if that fight were to be made tomorrow, Adam, you know, the bookies now, on the back of that, I think would have Adam Azim as the gambling favourite.
You might be right. You might be right.
I don't
because,
agree.
Well,
I don't
listen,
agree.
you might be right because of recency bias. People have just seen a really good performance against a high-level operator. I was really impressed when Dalton beat Zepeda. I thought that was a high-level operation as well. I think it's a great fight. We're living in a different time now, aren't we? Where once upon a time it was, well, let's build them, and maybe we over-marinate these fights. Now's not the time to over-marinate fights. We've got two young lads, put them in, let's rock and roll, because we've got the money to satisfy everybody's financial demands. That is a brilliant fight for British fight fans.
And the thing is, John,
of course, yeah, absolutely.
There is, and also, John, with Boxer and Ben Shalom signing this deal with His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh in the Riyadh season, and it being announced yesterday, that these kind of developing fights, crossroads fights, are worth a lot more right now. So if it has to happen in Riyadh again, so it does. Well,
there's the conversation, isn't there? I mean, they're talking about another 5v5. I don't know whether Queensbury and Matchroom are going to do that again.
Queensbury and Matchroom.
Well, maybe Boxer can get involved in a 5 against somebody at some point.
Absolutely right.
And if Matchroom and Boxer had a 5v5, then Adam Azim and Dalton Smith makes an awful lot of sense. Listen, Dalton Smith put it on Ben Shalom last week, didn't he? Whilst they were out in Saudi Arabia, and he said, listen, I want the fight, let's make the fight. And Ben Shalom answered him there and then, 2025, we are going to make that fight.
Well, we've had a kind of week where we could have a Frank Warren, Ben Shalom 5v5 as well, and that'll be vicious.
They might even end up fighting each other at some point as well.
No, that's not allowed. There's an age differential that's too large.
Listen,
there,
I fancy Frank.
I do as well, and I don't want Ben to get hurt, is what I was going to say.
This is really good to see. I mean, I know that John can see this as he's from his ringside position right now, but Ohara Davies and Adam Azim just addressing the television cameras. I know that Spencer's hopefully going to be speaking to Adam Azim very, very shortly. They are friends. They were friends going into the fight. They put that to the side because this was business. They had business to take care of this evening. Adam Azim's taking care of that business, and it's great to see them both obviously embracing each other right at this moment in time, and I'm sure speaking very fondly of each other.
Well, I can see Ohara talking Adam up because he looks very modest standing as he's a very modest young man. Ohara was the man in the gym, as Spencer called it earlier. I'm sure we'll get a word with him in a minute. Ohara will be saying the great things he's learnt about Adam, that he's going to go on and upwards and upwards. He needs bigger tests. These guys can grow together. The 140-pound, 10-stone division is an extraordinary division. Tio Lopez, Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, Devon Haney.
But you're talking about a level
Davies.
above these boys at the moment, are you?
But that's where they will. That's where Adam will be dreaming of being in 2 or 3 or 4 years' time.
Of course,
and he will be there.
Of course, Spencer Oliver. I believe he's with. I believe that Spencer Oliver is with Adam Azim right now.
Yeah, hold on 1 minute, guys. He's just standing there posing for the photos with all the whole team. Ben Shalom and Barry McGuigan, Shane McGuigan, the whole team are there, and we're just going to catch up with him as soon as we are now. And here we go. Yeah, just a quick one now. Adam, what a performance, mate.
Yeah, but you know what? I tell you what, man, he's a tough world title contender. You know, I had to be very switched on. Shane goes to me, stick with your jab, and then let the other shots come. And also for inside as well. I was working on my inside game and it's working now. So
listen, you had a lot of psychological battles to overcome there because you grew up and Ohara Davies was the man of the gym and whatnot. People don't understand that side of it, but you overcome them and showed your talent.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? I looked up to Ohara Davies so young, and you know what? He's retiring now. So, you know, happy retirement to him. You know, such a legend, my brother for life as well.
Listen, he's been a great fighter and you're a great fighter as well. I've got to ask you, mate, there's lots of talk. When's the fight going to happen with you, Dalton Smith, the two best in the country at super lightweight? Is that the fight you want next?
You know what? I want it next year. But guess what? After watching the performance, he's going to be worried about me now.
Listen, that was a top-class performance from you for sure. You've done well, mate. Brilliant to overcome Ohara Davies, who's been a great fighter.
Happy retirement to Ohara Davies as well.
There you go. Well said, mate. Listen, back to you guys.
Spencer, awesome. Listen, I'm really impressed with that performance from Adam Azim. Fantastic. He stops Ohara Davies in the toughest test of his career so far. 22 years of age. The train keeps on rolling. And hopefully, as Ben Shalom alluded to last week, we see Adam Azim and Dalton Smith in a ring together in 2025. Still to come, we are going to be bringing you the Dan Aziz fight against Lewis Edmonson. That's for the British light heavyweight title. Do stick with us here on talkSPORT. But in the meantime, Tom Clayton, our newsreader, has come to join us in the studio because we do have some very sad breaking news.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Good evening. The breaking news is that the 6-time Olympic cycling champion Sir Chris Hoy has announced he's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He received an initial diagnosis back in 2023 and confirmed he was undergoing chemotherapy earlier this year. Well, he's now confirmed in an interview just released with the Sunday Times that he's been given between 2 and 4 years to live. We'll have more details online at talksport.com at that breaking news again that Sir Chris Hoy has confirmed he's been diagnosed with terminal cancer.
I'm sure people tuning in to talkSPORT, obviously hearing that news that Tom has just broken, are absolutely devastated by that because everybody's mind cast back to 2012 and the sensational team that we had on those bikes, winning medals. Sir Chris Hoy was obviously one of the leaders of that particular team, and an incredible Olympian, an incredible man for charity as well. He's done a lot of work away from the track, and that is absolutely devastating news to hear that the cancer that he announced last year, I think it was, is terminal. And
it's absolutely tragic news about Sir Chris Hoy, who I interviewed a few times during his career, and he will be remembered as one of the greatest British sports people of all time, and an amazing character, as you say, who's done so many things for British sport and British society. Absolutely tragic news.
We'll have more reaction to that news from Sir Chris Hoy in the next news bulletin and throughout the course of tomorrow on talkSPORT. Do stick with us. You're listening to Fight Night Live here on talkSPORT.
Building up to the big fight. Fight Night Live. Azim versus Davies on talkSPORT.
Ladies and gentlemen, Super Dan Aziz! Introducing Louis the Saint Edmonson.
The uppercut as well, and Aziz, I think he's just looking to finish it himself here in this 8th. Nigel Travis has got the towel, and in comes the towel. Steps in with a lovely crisp 1-2, and Telford is down again. And it was an absolute blitzkrieg assault there from Edmonson. And the referee just steps in there and stops the fight.
Still to come here on talkSPORT before 11 o'clock. We're going to be bringing you the British light heavyweight title fight between Dan Aziz and Lewis Edmondson. So stick with us for that. There's also a bit of action going on in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is the return to the world of MMA for the Predator himself. That's right, Francis Ngannou taking on Le Problema, Renan Ferreira. Looking forward to the Battle of the Giants this evening. The main card is currently underway. There's been a great performance from Paul Hughes, who took on AJ McKee a little earlier on. And a man that has been across this throughout the whole course of the week for talkSPORT is the one and only Mr. Kweku Afari. Look at his smiling, beaming face from Saudi Arabia. How are you, Kweku? You good?
I'm good, lads. How you getting on?
Very well indeed, my man. Listen, obviously, we're all looking forward to the main event, Francis versus Renan Ferreira. But talk me through that performance from Paul Hughes, a real coming-of-age moment for him in the world of MMA.
They call him Big News Hughes for a reason. An absolutely incredible performance against AJ McKee, who's only tasted defeat once in an MMA cage. People thought this fight came too early for Paul. I have been speaking to him during the week, and he was very, very confident. He predicted he'd finish AJ McKee. Didn't end up getting the finish, but he was very close to it in the first round. But it was a perfect performance from him. It did go to a split decision. I had Paul winning every single round of that fight, and at the end of it, it was incredible of him on the mic calling out Umar Nurmagomedov, which not many people do in the lightweight division. He says he wants it in Dubai in 2025, and who says no after a performance like that? Like I say, AJ McKee is an incredible fighter, but Paul Hughes has put himself on the map, and it's impossible not to compare young, brash Irish fighters to Conor McGregor, but he's got that star quality, that je ne sais quoi, that thing that sets fighters apart, and I expect him to go on and do big things because he's an incredible fighter with an incredible story, and he's incredible on the mic as well. So great performance from him. I'm happy to see him perform on the biggest stage, because like I say, people did not expect him to pull out that performance on a night like this.
Kweku, it's great to see you out there. Some big names on this card tonight, not least Chris Cyborg, but the heavyweight matchup, 500 pounds of man meat in the ring, in the cage, if you like, with Renan Ferreira and Francis Ngannou. You've been around them all week. My feeling is that Renan Ferreira might have a little bit too much speed and groundwork for Francis. But what have you felt about the two men this week, up close with them?
So like you mentioned, Gareth, I've been around both fighters during this week. We're actually staying in the Fighter Hotel, and I got in the lift of Renan Ferreira, and the man is imposing, to say the least. 6'8", quick as a cat. He can do it all in the cage, and he's on a 4-fight win streak right now. Exposed of Ryan Bader in incredible fashion in his last fight, and he takes on a Francis Ngannou who might be suffering from cage rust. He hasn't fought in an MMA cage in almost 3 years. In that time, Renan Ferreira's fought 8 times, and so he's active, he's ready, and it's rare to see Francis Ngannou outmatched physically, but that's what he's going to have to overcome in the fight tonight. Renan Ferreira is very, very confident, and in Francis Ngannou, we've got a very contemplative Predator. Obviously, he's had heartbreak at the beginning of this year, the passing of his son. The last time we saw him in a fight, he was knocked out by Anthony Joshua. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one. This is truly the battle of the giants, and I'm very excited to see how this goes down in the main event. But Gareth, before I let you go, I do want to ask you a question. There's some stars out here tonight: Sadio Mane, Cristiano Ronaldo, the biggest star in sports. I've already talked to Amir Khan cage side, but I've seen you operate on Fight Night, Gareth. You talk to the biggest stars, you managed to get cage side. So what's your advice to me in terms of talking to Cristiano Ronaldo and getting that interview?
Never take no for an answer from his 5 security guys while they're patting you on the back.
You'll get arrested, mate.
Keep talking to him. Just ignore them. Take the pats on the back. Keep talking.
Okay. I'm going to try my best.
Listen, mate,
you will.
Enjoy it. That main event's going to be a cracker. There's a fantastic co-main event as well, as Cyborg takes on Larissa Pacheco, probably the best female fight in mixed martial martial arts booked so far this year. And then Fabian Edwards in the rematch with Johnny Ebling. Can he get the job done? He was winning the first one until he ended up getting chinned. Can he do the business tonight, Fabian Edwards? What a story that would be. We'll keep you up to date with that as it progresses in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And as I said, Kweku's been out there in Saudi throughout the whole course of the week, so therefore he'll have all the reaction for you on the talkSPORT MMA YouTube channel. That leads us back nicely to the copper box, because we've just seen Adam Azim put in a wonderful performance against Ohara Davies, getting the job done and hopefully propelling him forward towards a fight with Dalton Smith. Big night now for Dan Aziz. He's taking on Lewis Edmonson. Lewis Edmonson's already in the ring at the copper box, and Dan Aziz is on his way down there right now. British title is on the line in the light heavyweight division. Obviously, Dan's won this title previously, can win it again. But his last two performances, obviously falling short against Josh Buatsi, but more concerning was the last time on the undercard at Selhurst Park where he had that weird draw and he just couldn't get going. This is a huge, huge night for Dan Aziz.
It is, and it's more than a British title fight. Obviously, he's held it before, I think more than once, and he's got to get back in that Richards, Buatsi, mix, Yarde mix. He's got to get a formidable performance under his belt tonight, and I think he's up against a very tough, much taller, straight punching opponent. Bob and weave tonight. I said it earlier when we were on talkSPORT 2, be a bit like Joe Frazier tonight. Get in there, because he's that kind of character. He's old school, and he really needs to put his full vim and vigour and his personality that he has into this performance, Adam.
From a Lewis Edmondson point of view, he's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. There's been a lot of chat about him maybe fighting the likes of Ben Whittaker, and that fight never materialised. He's 9 undefeated in the professional game. Lad from Southampton. Okay, he doesn't have the knockout ratio and the viral moments to capture the imagination, but the kid can box and he's earned the opportunity, and tonight is his opportunity to punch his ticket. He's fighting on, obviously we're talking about it now on talkSPORT. The main TV channel is Sky Sports that are going to be covering that as well this evening. This is his chance to get a name on his resume and put himself in that mix.
You said that. Aziz is a name in the sport, and Edmonson has walked tall and proud all week. I've been around him. He's felt really good when you've been up close with him. I think we're in for a Brammer here.
A Brammer?
A Brammer.
There you go. There's a word for everybody.
You would have said your favourite word that you use, a slobber knocker, that I've adopted as well.
Do you think?
No, this isn't. This is going to be a Brammer.
Okay.
Not a slobber knocker.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it will be a slobber knocker. I think Lewis Edmondson will do his best to box rather than get involved in a fight.
But expect the unexpected.
Listen,
as Spencer Oliver and John Rawling always say.
Well, listen, speaking of which, let's get down there, shall we? Because the copper box is on fire right now. Everybody's enjoying themselves. They have just obviously experienced Adam Azim doing his business. You can hear in the background there, Big Mo making the introductions. Let's get back to our commentary team of Spencer Oliver and John Rawling.
Lewisham, London, England, introducing the former British, the former Commonwealth, and the former European light heavyweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, Super Dan Aziz.
Great reception for a very popular fighter, being cheered on at ringside by Josh Buatsi. And the two fighters now are drawn centre ring.
Instructions already in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
By some 3 inches, stands 6'1". Big lad, rangy fighter. Been a pro since 2019. 9 fights, undefeated, 3 inside the distance. Aziz, well, he was on a roll, wasn't he? Until he came up against Buatsi, and then he found Buatsi just skillfully too much. He's been a pro since 2017, 35 years old, and with the bookies, he's an outsider in this fight, but he needs to get a W on the record.
Yep, he certainly does. He's not gone his way in his last couple. Controversial draw last time out. Spoke to him about that actually, and he said, listen, just couldn't find the rhythm, couldn't get into it, but I've now got a point to prove against a guy who beat him as an amateur in Louis Edmondson, and so he wants to go out here and make a statement tonight, show that he still belongs at world class. Let's not forget here, he was WBA ranked number 2. He worked his way up, won every single title from Southern area to English, Commonwealth, British, European, and he was waiting for that world title shot, so fell short there, but it's all about getting himself back on track tonight.
Nothing too much landed of note so far. That awful defeat, that awful draw that he played out at Selhurst Park during the summer against Hroje Sepp, a 38-year-old Croatian, really did make a lot of people question whether Aziz really had the heart to continue at top level in this sport, and he's yet to land a real meaningful punch there. He was short with an attempted left jab, fell in behind it, and Edmonson, who's a switch hitter, he can work either right-handed or left-handed. He's working behind the right-hand lead at the moment, and he's just waiting for Aziz at this point to commit himself. Tried to whip in a left hook, and Aziz just ties him up and gets his head onto his chest, and the referee has to split them.
Yep, Dan Aziz, who models himself on his idol in Marvin Hagler, the red shorts, white boots, white socks pulled up high. And yeah, he'll be looking to put in a Marvin Hagler performance tonight against Louis Edmondson, who's very tricky, switches from orthodox to southpaw, holds out the left hand, drills in the right hand there. Good work there from Edmondson. But yep, this is all about Dan Aziz getting into a rhythm and trying to work his opponent down.
Well, Edmondson has said that Aziz is slowing down and he's not quite the fighter that he was a year or so ago. Well, he may have a point, and we'll certainly see as this fight unfolds with less than 40 seconds to go in a very quiet opening round. Aziz does get in with a scoring left-hand lead. Edmondson just paws with his own left hand. He must have a reach advantage of 3 or 4 inches, but is he going to be able to actually fire that jab out to make that reach advantage count? Into the last 15 seconds of a close opener, and it's a real messy maul on the far side on the ropes. Referee splits them. This is a difficult opening round to score.
Yep, Dan Aziz maybe have just nicked it. He's been hustling forward, just trying to create the fight, and we've seen Edmonson boxing, moving around the perimeter of the ring, trying to keep the distance, making things awkward for Dan Aziz, but just that extra effort, that hustle may have been enough to win the round there for Adam Azim.
And we'll go to the red corner now and hear from Martin Bowers, who's giving his instructions to Dan Aziz.
You know, when you go south, yeah. Right? Happy with that? Yeah.
When he goes up for right body long, yeah?
When he comes down there, you have to start a little bit more stubborn, but don't panic, just start doing what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah? Don't rush anything. Okay. Yeah? So you control, that's what you've got to do. Yeah.
Move your head, very good. Move your head all the time.
What do you make of the instructions that you're getting there, Spencer?
Yeah, I love Martin Bowers. I like what he does. I like what he stands for. He's a very, very good trainer, and he's saying, listen, basically just ease your way into it. Don't do anything silly. Hustle your way in range. Let your shots go. That's what Dan Aziz does, and does very effective. He looks to systematically break his opponents down. He chips away with a high work rate, and he's going to have to break the rhythm of Louis Edmondson, who's a very tricky customer, who's switching at the opening of this round from orthodox, currently in the southpaw position. Aziz lands a good jab over the top.
Martin Bowers, who's the powerhouse behind the Peacock Gym, and vastly experienced in the boxing game, and he knows Dan Aziz and him as a fighter absolutely inside out, and he also knows that he's going to have to be right at his best tonight if he's going to win this. He's got to make it his fight. He's got to find a way of getting in close, scoring with the power shots, and not letting Edmondson switch hitting, get into a rhythm at range and work behind that jab. And I guess that was kind of what we made out from those instructions, although, as is sometimes Martin's case, maybe the real power points he was whispering, so we couldn't quite hear.
Yeah, very, very smart from Martin Bowers there, and I can imagine it's something like, let's make this a dogfight, break the rhythm of Louis Edmondson. How do you do that? Well, you draw him into a fight, you make it rough, you make it tough. This is called prize fighting, you know, and I think that's how Dan Aziz wins this fight, if he draws him into that dogfight.
Edmondson just suckered him onto a left hand there, leading off with the southpaw right, and he walked onto a right hand as a left hand rather as he came forward. Jab there from Aziz, but no great power in it, and Edmondson just hanging out that right hand glove, pawing towards the face of Aziz, and maybe trying to throw from the extended right hand position. something Lennox Lewis all those years ago used to do with such great effect. Didn't used to throw a jab from his waist or his chin. Very often it was from the extended hand.
Yeah, very, very effective was Lennox Lewis with that, and you just see Louis Edmondson here just trying to make things very, very difficult. He's moving around a lot and being very awkward and very tricky, but not really landing too much effective stuff, maybe a little too negative at the moment. Dan Aziz is the one trying to force the pace, but this one not really caught a light yet with 30 seconds to go in this second round. No one really took the initiative yet.
Edmonson, who's had his career managed by Billy Joe Saunders, and we were taking advice from him, no doubt, as to how his career should progress. He comes in behind the right-hand lead again, then lands a left into the body, switches back to orthodox, was clipped by a left hand from Aziz as he did so. And I tell you what, after all the thrills and spills of that last fight, this one's a little bit of a cure at saying at the moment. Touch of gloves, there's respect between them, but nothing really of great moment was landed by either man. Difficult to score.
Absolutely, John, exactly that. Very difficult to score. As I say, Louis Edmondson was sort of moving around, not really doing too much, making life difficult for Dan Aziz, who was trying to force the pace, trying to come forward, but wasn't really doing anything effective. Maybe a little too much respect between these two, who go back a long way, boxed as amateurs, and this one not caught light yet. But expect Dan Aziz to turn on the gas, keep chipping away and drawing Louis Edmondson in. Edmondson, the least experienced out of these two. Aziz has been there, seen it, done it at this level. Edmondson is unproven.
Corners, 10 seconds. Aziz says that he's pumped and wants revenge for that amateur defeat. He says he's ready, and he also says that he's still got a lot to offer the professional sport. And I don't think he'll have taken too kindly to being told that he's on the slide by his opponent. First scoring shot of the round was from Aziz, a good stiff left-hand jab. Edmondson just backpedaling, waiting for Aziz to commit himself, tries to throw a left hand to the body. Aziz again covers and parries, and it was only a glancing blow that Edmondson was able to get through. He's not got any great power in his punches, has he, Louis? He's not got a big shot, or doesn't appear to have, unless you actually really walk onto it.
Yeah, because he's boxing on the back foot, boxing a little negatively, looking to pot shot and get away and make life difficult for Dan Aziz, who we know loves the hustle and bustle, moulds himself on Marvin Hagler, looks to like come inside, slip, slide, let the combinations go. Edmondson doing a good job of making him not be able to get close, but he's not being very effective himself, which is making it quite a negative fight.
Who's going to be the first one to really put their foot to the canvas and really show that they're prepared to boss this and instill fear, maybe more respect in the opponent? Body shot from Edmondson, as I said that, a right hand.
Yeah, you just feel that Dan Aziz is the one that's trying to force the pace here as he's holding centre of the ring, and Louis Edmondson again making things difficult, throwing shots from the outside, but you just feel that Dan Aziz has been there before. He'll know how to draw Edmondson inside. At some point, Edmondson's going to have to stand still. He's going to have to trade. That's where Dan Aziz likes it. That's why at the moment you feel that maybe the rounds are close, but it's sort of going Dan Aziz's way.
Third round, this one, of a 12-rounder. There's a combination, as Spencer was talking there, from Louis Edmondson, but no great power, although he landed, misses with an attempted right hand over the top there, and then a right to the body and a good left hand lead from Aziz. He's got more supporters here than Edmondson has, who's had to travel up from Southampton. Another good left hand from Aziz, who's just looking maybe slightly the heavier handed, and possibly, I don't know, it's maybe shouldn't say too much at an early stage, but he just looks as though psychologically he's maybe just getting the edge right now.
Well, he's been here before, hasn't he? He knows what he's in for at the moment. Louis Edmondson, yep, he's 9-0, but he's not boxed at this level. He's not been here before. Dan Aziz knows what he's going into. Edmondson don't. That's perhaps why he's boxing negatively here at the beginning, because he knows he's got them 12 rounds to do. Guess what? Dan's done it. He knows where he's at. He's just going to keep going. that steam train will keep going on. And I think for me, the few jabs that Dan Aziz has landed in this round has maybe been enough to win in the round.
Let's see how Gareth and Adam have got it.
Well, I think it's a very interesting fight so far. It's a struggle of styles, it's contrasting styles. We know that Edmonson is a very awkward fighter, and he's trying to impose and frustrate Dan Aziz. I agree with you down at ringside. I think Dan Aziz's busyness and his work rate and tenacity is winning him the fight so far. But I just think Dan Aziz is going to ease ahead in this fight because he's got a rhythm about him, a momentum, and at some point he's going to land heavily on Edmondson.
I agree with what Spencer just said there regarding the distance. This is the first time that Edmondson's been scheduled for a 12-rounder. He's had 6 and 8 rounders, and he's fighting at the moment like a kid that he's maybe conscious of that maybe he's just thinking to himself, well, you know, if I can drag this guy late, then maybe I can have a little bit of success. He's got to get going because he could be well behind before he ends up recouping some stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this round number 4.
We will see. I've got Aziz at the moment. I think he took the opener, I think he took the last round. Second round, in all honesty, I couldn't split them. So right now, Spencer, I've got Aziz by 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you there, John. You know, it could be subjective, it could be 1 up, it could be 2 up, but you know, nothing really happened here. This contest not caught light yet, but one thing we can guarantee is Aziz will draw him in at some point, and Edmondson is going to have to let his hands go.
Well, Louis Edmondson came out of the corner with a little bit of attacking intent, a couple of body shots, but now Aziz walking him down with the gloves held high, gets in with a left to the body, tries to wind up a big overhand right, missed with that, and then a little counter from Edmondson, but no great power in that left hand, and Edmondson now wants to hold on. Head going into the head of Aziz, and the referee splits them, and the action underway once again. Minute completed in the 4th round.
Yeah, Edmondson just holding the centre of the ring, lands a good right hand there from Dan Aziz, and Dan comes back with a good jab of his own, and for the first time in the contest, John, it seems to get going.
This is the British and Commonwealth light heavyweight title fight. Dan Aziz against Louis Edmondson. It's London against Southampton, and Aziz for us, former champion at this weight with these titles. He looks as though he's just edging things right now. Head to head, another bit of a mess of a maul. Is the referee going to have to split them? Surely he does, and he does indeed. Pushes Edmondson back, and the action begins once again. It's a bit of a mess of a fight, though. They're not really gelling to provide an eye-catching spectacle.
No, the boys in the studio pretty much said that, you know, it's the styles have not gelled at all. Edmondson looking to nick points on the outside. Dan Aziz very effective with that jab, but gets caught with a right hand from Edmondson there, who's decided now he wants to stand the ground. He wants to let the shots go. Yeah, but this is all about styles, and they have not gelled yet.
4th round, still time for one or the other to really explode and go into a different gear. Body shot from Edmondson. For the most part, he's been fighting southpaw in this contest, and Aziz hasn't been desperately inconvenienced by that. Comes forward with his own left-hand lead and lands a glancing blow to the bearded chin of Edmondson. 30 seconds to go in the 4th round.
Yeah, but them glancing blows, those glancing jabs is what is winning these rounds. Believe it or not, the 2, 3, 4 effective jabs are enough to win the rounds here, because nothing really clear landing. And Edmondson, this is all about opportunity, getting that opportunity and taking it. He was the guy calling out Ben Whittaker. He wanted to fight with Ben Whittaker. Well, he gets his chance for the British light heavyweight title, Commonwealth light heavyweight title on the line. You've got to take it, John. And at the moment, boxing maybe a little bit too negatively. Yeah, they're very close rounds, subjectively what you want. For me, I'm just leaning towards the more aggressive work and the effective jab of Dan Aziz at the moment. But I just want to see a lot more from Louis Edmondson. I go, come on, son, you get your opportunity, take it.
We look now at some of the replays from that round, and Edmondson had his moments, but when the scoring punches landed, you always again got the impression that slightly the edge in authority came from the 35-year-old Londoner Dan Aziz, and he looked calm in the corner as he reacts to the advice of Martin Bowers, doesn't he? He looks as though he's happy with what's going on in there.
Yep, the corner's very calm, Martin Bowers seems very happy as well. Little smile from Dan Aziz. He's going to plan for him. He says, listen, we know he's an awkward kid, but we're slowly going to get to him. We're going to draw him in. At the moment, Edmonson, the referee now, just pulling both guys together and having a word with them. And I'll tell you what they're saying, John. I'll tell you what the referee's saying. Come on, boys, give us a fight here. You know, you're putting bums on seats here, people paying good money. We want to see the action.
Well, they used to once upon a time, didn't they? If they didn't really go for it, you'd get some referees of old who'd really lead the riot attacks, and maybe there was a little bit of that there, and certainly there's a bit of an injection in urgency from both men, particularly Edmonson, who's fighting out of the southpaw stance, looking to throw the right-hand lead, bobbing and weaving his way in. Aziz, and nothing still landing. They're both feinting to throw and to fight a little more aggressively, but then a left hand from Edmonson does find the target, possibly low. Looks as though it could have been a bit south of the border.
Yep, Edmonson trying to nick this. He's trying to do it. He's trying to do the long route, and he's just trying to nick the rounds, nick the contest. And I just don't think that that's enough to go and win a title. You know, boxing being negative on the back foot. He needs to do what he's doing here. Stand your ground more. Let your shots go, son, because Dan Aziz is the one pushing forward. No, he's not landing anything really effective. But that may be just enough to steal the rounds at the moment.
But this one, the better work, maybe for the first time for a while, is coming from the tall, blonde-haired saint from Southampton, Louis Edmondson. He's had the better of this fifth round as we move towards the halfway stage. But in comes Aziz with a left-hand lead, and then a left to the body counter from Edmondson. Another good left hand, another good jab from Aziz. It's starting to warm up a little, and about time.
Yeah, we've just gone through the halfway point of round 5, and you would expect that at some point, John. They've got to go for it a little bit. We want to see a bit more action, and we're getting that now. Edmondson's starting to hold his feet a little bit more and stand and trade with Dan Aziz, the former champion, looking to regain the British and Commonwealth again.
Into the final minute of the fifth round. We've got Aziz ahead on our cards, but there's a good right hand from Edmondson. Aziz comes forward and tries to retaliate with body shots. There's an untidy maul, and the referee taps them, doesn't shout clearly break. He's feinting to break them, and now he finally does. Not the most decisive piece of refereeing.
No, Edmondson just looking to tie Aziz up when he gets close. Good jab there from Dan Aziz. Edmondson moving around, left hand held low, trying to draw Aziz in. But when Daz does get there, he ties him up as Edmondson throws a right hand, comes back with a left hook.
I think this has been Edmondson's best round so far. 15 seconds to go in it, and he needed one because Aziz, despite not winning rounds big, could have been on a bit of a roll, and now Edmondson at last is showing us a bit more of what he's capable of. The thump on the side of the ring indicates 10 seconds to go. 2 jabs from Edmondson. Forward comes Aziz, clipped with a left hook. He comes in close, and Edmondson lands another left hand after the bell goes, and there's an old-fashioned stare down. They didn't like it either way.
Well, I think we saw most of the action there come after the first bell. After the last bell went there. Edmondson threw a shot after the bell. Aziz come back with a shot, and they both stood there. The glare. Let's hope that that's the beginning of something good to happen here. The first 6 rounds, the first half of the contest has been very, very negative. Dan Aziz trying to push forward, trying to make the fight. Edmondson boxing on the outside, making things difficult. For me, going into this second half, Aziz has got his nose in front, but you just feel, John, there's more twists and turns to come here.
I've got it 3-1 to Aziz with, what are we talking, 1, 2, 3, 4-1 there, 3-2, I beg your pardon. And one, you know, there's one which was very close. It may be that one was level, and the referee again speaking to both fighters, maybe to say, look, come on, when I say break, and well the bell goes, let's stop throwing punches.
Yep, I'm with you. I've got Dan Aziz 3-2 up at the moment going into this 6th round. And the referee again pulling them together, and I'll tell you what he'll be doing there, he'll be giving them a little bit of a telling off, saying, come on lads, get it going now, we need to see something.
It's all right snarling after the bell goes to end the round, but let's see a bit of snarling during the round. Good uppercut inside there from Edmonson, right hand. Draws Azim in and caught him on the way in. Azim feints to throw a left hand, thinks better of it, and then a couple of body shots, little clubbing shots from Aziz. Right hand was the most telling of the three that he landed.
Yeah, good work there from Dan Aziz, just whipping the shots in. Dan Aziz now trying to force the pace, jumps in with a jab, just falls short. Edmonson with a short uppercut, but he just senses here Dan Aziz is a solid look around him, and he's starting to close that gap.
Yeah, not a lot between them again though in this round. Couple of body shots once more from Edmonson, misses with an uppercut. Aziz ducks low and tries to get closer, try to fight in the pocket, try to minimise those long levers of Edmonson, and he gets in with a left to the body. Edmonson feints to throw a left-hand lead, thinks better of it, but then does get in with a right hand and a left hand. Good jab from Aziz, rocked back the head of Edmonson, who responds with a left hand. Referee says it was low, and Aziz, well, he feints to show that he's winded and goes off to his corner. Maybe he was winded, perhaps I'm being a little bit harsh. Maybe he did have the wind taken out of him, which one was clearly south of the border. He can have 5 minutes to recover if he wants.
Absolutely, and they're not very comfortable, those shots, trust me. Been there, seen it, got the t-shirt, and yes, it's not a nice place to be hit.
No. Well, we've all had, well, men that is, we've all had painful blows in that particular position, and it's never nice. But the action is underway once again. Aziz stalking him, walks forward behind the left hand, throws a right to the head, and then shots to the body. Edmonson pushes him back, tries to work the body himself, but all the better work inside coming from Dan Aziz. That's good from the 35-year-old Londoner. Left hand again, and he's really trying to work the body of Edmonson here and trying to sap the spirit of the Southampton fighter.
This is where experience comes in, trust me when I say that. Dan Aziz now just starting to get close, drawing Edmonson into his fight, and Edmonson now starting to feel it as Aziz again lands a big jab. Edmonson throws the lead right uppercut, which was a silly shot to throw at that stage, but you just sense here Aziz starting to take over.
Edmondson's been a little bit hurt by some of these body shots. He's grimacing as Aziz goes inside and thuds away to the body. Edmonson misses with a big left-hand lead uppercut. He's got his gloves up high now, waiting to see what Aziz does. Aziz feinted to throw a hook to the body, couldn't get through, but Aziz has definitely had the attacking edge in this round. We'll go to the studio in a moment or two and see how they've scored this round. But despite that low blow, Aziz on the receiving end at that point, I think he's clearly taken that 6th round, lads.
Yeah, I've got it 4-2 to Dan Aziz now. It's a horrible, awkward clash of styles, but Aziz finally breaking through the wall there in that round, starting to break Edmonson down. But he really needs to put the pressure on for me, Adam, and just get inside more, make it a dogfight. Because Edmonson is such an awkward boxer.
It needs to be Dan Aziz, doesn't he? And I think we've seen in the last 2 fights, maybe that confidence has been taken from him a touch. We definitely saw it last time out at Selhurst Park. I think it's gradually starting to come back in this fight, and I would love to see now, as I'm just watching on my monitor, a fantastic uppercut there from Edmonson. It was a great round. Yeah, it landed beautifully. I'd love to see Dan just start to up that pace now, because let's test it. The kid's not done 12 rounds before, so let's use that to your advantage.
Halfway stage. Spencer Oliver and myself have got this one with Dan Aziz ahead, but not by a decisive margin at the halfway stage, and several of those rounds have been very close. Aziz starts again with body shots, forces the left hand of Edmonson to come down and lands with a right hook and then a left jab. Really bright, fast start from Aziz in this round.
Yeah, this is where Aziz is in his comfort zone. He's now turning it up. He's picking the punches up. He's closing the gap. And Edmonson just seeming just looking like he's unravelling in there at the moment. Aziz, he knows where he's been here before, and he's starting to get off of those shots now. Good work here in the beginning of the 7th for Dan Aziz.
He's kind of a blue-collar champion, isn't he, Dan Aziz? He's not the chosen one. He's not got the flashy amateur pedigree, but he's rugged and he's hard, and he makes every fight tough. And he's now trying to turn this one really into his fight as they come down now towards the home straight.
Yeah, John, he's one of those guys that done it in the small hall shows, non-televised shows, Southern area, English, Commonwealth, British, European. That's the way that he's done it in the other guy's backyard. He's one of those guys, old school, like his hero Marvin Hagler when he was trying to get that breakthrough. You know, he's had to do it the hard way, Aziz. So he's used to this. He's been there. He's comfortable right now. Let's see if Louis Edmondson can step up.
Well, this is really a deciding fight for Edmondson, isn't it? 28 years old, undefeated as a pro, 9 fights, 9 wins, only 3 stoppages. But if he's going to move on, he needs to come through this great right hand from Aziz. Rocked back the head of Edmondson. Takes it well, though, regroups, but then a left hand, this time again, rocks back the head of Edmondson. 2 real sizable shots from Aziz, who blows out the air, puffs out his cheeks, as much as to say, yep, I got you and you know it.
Yep, Aziz, when he gets that momentum going, it's very difficult to break that rhythm, and that's exactly what he's doing now as he stands centre of the ring, just misses with the right hand, hands held high. Edmondson moving around, trying to nick the shots, but now Aziz getting closer. Edmondson throws a 1-2. Aziz comes back, the momentum again with Aziz.
But the most telling and eye-catching shots came from Aziz in those exchanges, at least they did for me, as they move into the final 30 seconds of the 7th round. We've got Aziz ahead on our cards at this point. The gambling favourite narrowly was Louis Edmondson. He was quoted at 6-5 on by the bookies, but he's not really fought like a favourite as we move into the last 10 seconds.
Yep, you've really got to go out there and rip the titles away, and Edmondson not doing that so far, you know, just trying to nick the win here, and that's not enough. You know, when you get into these championship rounds, that's when fighters come into their own, and that's when Dan Aziz will come into his own. He's walked back to the corner, the red corner. Martin Bowers in there, and he looks very, very pleased with himself.
We'll listen again into that corner and hear what Martin Bowers is saying now to Dan Aziz.
You've got to give him range, but find him in the leg, he'll live in my hand. What round is this? 8.
Well, I'm afraid we can't really make that one out, but I think judging by the body language as much as anything else, Martin Bowers feels that they're just about doing enough at this point.
John, there's a calmness in the corner, that's why you can't hear anything. You know, there's a nice calmness, so they're very, very pleased with what they, you know, with the way this fight is going at the moment. Trust me, you'd hear Martin Bowers in the corner if he wasn't pleased.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not always Queen's English. He sometimes has a little bit of, what shall we say, a way of emphasising himself.
You know where I was going with that. I'm glad that you put it that way, and very well put as well.
Without saying it. Good left hand from Aziz, tries to follow up with a left hook, up on his toes. Edmondson back centre ring, absorbs another good left lead from Aziz. He's fighting out of the orthodox stance now. Edmondson throws the left hand lead and then a right cross and another one, but there's no power in those shots, and he doesn't really dissuade Aziz from walking forward.
No accuracy in those shots either, and Aziz is the one that's landing the cleanest shots now. He's got into a rhythm, working well, slipping, sliding, holding centre of the ring as Edmondson moves around the perimeter, hands down by his waist, but negative, not really throwing anything. Good left hook lands though. As I say that, Aziz, hands held high, tries to draw him back into that fight.
Yeah, it was a sweeping left hand, wasn't it? Left hook, but it didn't really move Aziz. He just sort of glancing blow and he just brushed it aside. He's such a tough man, Aziz. Really very, very strong. That's better from Edmondson though. Aziz comes in close and Edmondson managed to land a couple of body shots, and there's another one in there. But again, no great power in them. They're kind of arm punches.
Yeah, not really effective, not really eye-catching, and the, you know, the momentum, the work rate all with Aziz, and I think that will be enough to steal these rounds, John. What he's got, Dan Aziz, is experience. He knows when to turn it up, he knows when to catch the eye, he knows how to nick the rounds, and for me, that's what he's doing right now.
You're listening to talkSPORT, the British and Commonwealth light heavyweight title fight, Dan Aziz against Louis Edmondson on an hour card, and we're now in the 8th round of 12. Dan Aziz has an advantage. It's not yet a fight advantage. Certainly Edmondson still very much in it, but now Aziz sent to a neutral corner, and it is going to be a point taken away, I think, for Edmondson, and it is indeed, for holding and dragging his man down. There's some boos and jeers, but the referee has warned him more than once, and an important point has been deducted.
Yeah, and now he's got to be very careful, Louis Edmondson, that he doesn't continue doing that, because if he does, trust me, he'll get thrown out.
Doesn't need that in a close fight, and that, if Aziz didn't already have an advantage, and we reckon that he did, then he's got more of an advantage now. And when you get fouls like that given, it's often indicative of the opponent getting on top.
Yeah, 100% you feel that, like I say, Dan Aziz knows how to hustle his way through these rounds. As the rounds go on, he gets better, he gets stronger. You know, he's comfortable here right now. Edmondson now is asking himself questions. He's going into new territory now, and it's going to be very character testing for him.
Yeah, approaching now towards the championship rounds. This is the 8th round, and who's going to have the greatest stamina, resilience, and will to live, will to win and to live in those closing 4 rounds, and who's going to really be able to put their dominance on this fight at this stage?
Well, this is where we're at right now. It's a 4-round fight. Louis Edmondson, if he wants to win this, he wants to become British and Commonwealth light heavyweight champion in his 10th fight. He's got to do something here. He's got to start taking a little gamble. Yeah, he's been moving nicely out on the outside, staying out of trouble, but Aziz has been the one pressing. John, he's got to do something a little more than what he's doing.
That point deduction could be huge, couldn't it?
Massive.
I mean, that's a 10-8 at this stage, and it might well be that he now needs a knockout if he's going to win this fight.
Absolutely. Listen, that is a big, big knockback for him there, Louis Edmondson, and he's got to do something proper here. He's got to go for it, mate. That's all I can say. He has to now take the bull by the horns.
He's going to need a big last 4 rounds, Louis Edmondson, if he's going to win this fight, and he's not really shown that he's got either the skill or the power to beat Dan Aziz. He's got to really, at very bare minimum, win these last 4 rounds. Would you agree?
Totally agree with that. You know, he's got to show what champions are made of. Don't just compete, don't just try and nick rounds, you've got to go out there and steal them. Dan Aziz is the man. He's the one to be looking at. He's the former British Commonwealth European champ. You've got to go and win that title, steal it, put a dent in it. Right now, he's just trying to nick it, and that's not enough.
And how much do you really want it? This is where there are pretty brutal revelations about the character of a fighter as the fight goes long. Aziz misses with there's a pushing right-hand lead and a left hook, and then a left to the body from Edmondson, who's trying to be the one throwing the flashier punches here. Aziz gets in close, aiming to work to the body. The referee allowing the action to continue despite an untidy clinch, and then he separates them. At no stage has the fight really taken an enjoy. Oh, there's a good left hand from Edmondson. Needed that one. He's not landed anything solid for a while, but back comes Aziz with a left hand of his own. But it's not been a pleasing fight stylistically at any stage.
No, never caught like this one. It's been a very difficult fight to watch at times. Styles just not gelled well together. And as I say now, it's all about Edmondson showing those cojones, getting it going, rolling the dice a little bit, because, I don't think it's going to be enough to win the titles.
If you don't know cojones, get out the Spanish dictionary. I'm not going to say it on air, because if I said it, we'd be having to apologise.
If you said it, we'd probably be losing our jobs.
Minute to go in the 9th round. And Aziz, well, we've got him ahead. We're going to be going back to the studio at the end of this round, see if Adam and Gareth have got it the same way. There's a left-hand, right-hand combination from Edmonson. We needed that one, and that was his best little attacking flurry of this round. Good combination that he landed. Misses with a left hook. Aziz misses with a right hook. Both of them trying to wind up for power shots. Left hand from Aziz. Backpedaling, Edmonson picks off Aziz as he comes in with a right hand.
Yeah, Aziz is just like that annoying guy that just won't go away, Willie. You can't put a dent in him, he just keeps coming, and maybe, you know, not the sharpest shots in the world, but continuous, you know, the continuous punching from Aziz, and a big right hand goes in there. Edmonson felt that one as he goes back.
But Edmonson landed a good right uppercut himself prior to that, which got the attention of his supporters at ringside, and I think that was a better round than he's had for a while for Louis Edmondson. Let's see how Adam's got it.
Oof, it's a tough watching it, boys, let's be dead honest about it. You are right, Louis Edmondson probably just did nick that particular exchange. I don't really know what to say because I'm expecting more from Dan Aziz in these particular fights, Gareth, and I want him to start separating himself and showing the class that we've seen in previous fights, and it's just not there at the moment.
Well, I mean, Edmondson's not allowing him to, and I've had my thesaurus out referring to cojones. As you know, I'm a Spanish speaker, and I'm gonna come up with minerals, guys. No,
is that Spanish? That's English.
No, in Spanish, huevos is the word, which hopefully I won't get in trouble for later on. But look, Edmondson is showing a degree of cojones. But the styles have not matched to create a fight, and as Spencer knows, I'll never be disrespectful to fighters, but they aren't delivering right now, and you feel it from the referee as well.
Well, he's tried to keep it going, hasn't he, the ref, and we're into the 10th round now, and I still say that on my card, and I think Spenny would agree, Edmondson still has to take these last 3 rounds if he's going to have a chance of winning this fight.
Yeah, that's how I see it, and I agree with the boys in the studio, like they agree with us, that it's been a tough watch, if I'm honest. It's been one of those fights that hasn't caught light. The styles haven't really made for a great fight, and you get that sometimes. On paper, this one looked great. Edmondson has been trying to nick it. Aziz is trying to keep himself at the top, but I sort of agree with the boys a little bit as well, where you go, I expected a little bit more from Aziz as well.
Aziz not letting his punches go in the first minute of this 10th round, and the better punches from Edmondson. Hands held a little bit contemptuously low, and as Aziz came inside, or tried to come inside, he picked him off with 2 or 3 good quality body shots, and again he's backpedaling and leaps in behind a left hand to the body. Scoring shot from Edmondson. Aziz tried to respond but wasn't able to find the targets, and is he just getting outboxed a little bit now in this 10th round? Certainly the Edmondson corner is getting excited about what he's producing, but now Aziz ploughs forward and lines 1, 2, 3 hooks to the body, followed by a straight left hand to the head and a left hook. Again, Edmondson drops his gloves and almost invites Aziz in. Aziz, though, won't be suckered, but he had the better of that little bit of pressure there. And another left-hand lead from Aziz.
Yeah, I think that Aziz heard you actually there, because there was a good little flurry to body and head, and that has caused a response there from Louis Edmondson, who knows he's got to respond at this stage of the fight, at this stage of the round, actually, with 1 minute, 3 seconds left on the clock. This round still to be won and lost.
And as you were saying, Nat, it was that left hand to the body from Edmondson which was the only scoring shot, as they came in feinting to throw big punches but actually failing to deliver. Oh, left hand was well low from Edmondson, and he's in trouble here. No, I thought he was going to be in real difficulty there, because he's already had a point deducted for fouling by the referee, and that is going very, very close to the mark. If he loses another point, it might be that he's too far behind and that he's handing the fight to Aziz.
Yep, totally agree with that. Now Edmondson needs to start holding his feet a little bit here and letting the shots go, and you know what, taking the gamble, rolling the dice, because you just sense that Dan Aziz has had a good work, and as I say that, Edmondson throws a 1-2, sends a sweat spray in from Aziz, but look at the response, he comes straight back as well.
It was a right hand, left hand from Edmondson, which were the best of the scoring punches, but now Aziz finishes the round head on Edmondson's chest, and that was a really tough round again. A real man's round, if you like, as a cliche, but that's a tough guy's round.
Well, that's where we've been at in this contest, haven't we? Because we've got Dan Aziz winning this contest, like the boys have, I believe, in the studio. But when you look at it, you go, a lot of these rounds are very, very difficult to score, and you don't know what way the judges are going on that one. Yes, I think Aziz is doing enough in the rounds, but Edmondson has been a tricky little so-and-so, that is for sure.
He certainly has. We know he's a tricky big so-and-so, and he has been through his career, which began in 2019. He's always awkward, but he needs to dominate. He perhaps won that 10th round. It was close.
Yeah, absolutely. But as Gareth A. Davis was saying in the studio, let's put it this way. Let's see you showing some minerals now, my son. Last 2 rounds, this fight could be won and lost.
This is where it's going to be decided. Is somebody going to really be able to land some big shots and dominate, to put it out of question one way or the other? Thought that Aziz would be coming on strong at this stage, but it may be the last couple of rounds that Edmondson has had the better of it. Younger man, maybe the fresher man, and maybe, having not been at this level before and had the chance to win these titles before, maybe, dare I say, the hungrier. We'll see.
Yep, we certainly will see, and this could be a 2-round contest on my scorecard here. I think Dan Aziz may be slightly ahead, but we don't really know because no one stamped their authority in this. 2 minutes 15 seconds left of round 11. Neither guy really done anything again. The pattern been very similar. Aziz pushing forward, just pushing the little shots out. No real momentum behind them. And Edmondson trying to nick it on the outside.
And now an untidy maul as Edmondson tries to work in close. Referee splits them, and there were no telling shots one way or the other. Indeed, over a minute gone in this penultimate round, and no big shot landed by either man. Edmondson's gone back to southpaw, trying to work Aziz as he comes in, tries to spear his way through the high-held guard, but doesn't find his way onto the chin of Aziz, who then does have to take a left hand to the body as Edmondson comes in close. And again, there's one of those real infuriating, untidy mauls. Referee splits them. Edmondson tries to land a 1-2 from range. Aziz gets through the guard with a right hand of his own as we approach the final minute of round 11.
Yeah, Aziz just landing a nice body shot in there as well. But it's very difficult again to split these two because it's what you're looking for, what you like. There's not a lot of action landing from either guy, really. You know, like Edmondson's doing a good job of keeping it at distance. Aziz lands a good jab. Edmondson comes back with a 1-2. Nothing really clear landing though.
And again, both wrestle. They're holding on, desperately tired. 2 of them fall to the canvas. No knockdown, the referee says, and quite rightly so. There was no fault one way or the other. Edmondson taking a lot longer to get back to his feet. Referee just checking he's okay. And maybe a sign of fatigue. Is Edmondson the more tired in there? I don't know. But there's only 20 seconds or so remaining of this, the 11th round. We'll hear from Gareth Davies at the end of this round. Another really hard round to score, Spencer.
It really is, but I know what Edmondson's going through right now in this 11th round. When it's the first time you've been there, trust me when I say this, John, you feel like you've been in there a week, not 11 hours, a week. It is like that. It's like you're looking up, you're looking at the scorecards. Really, still 3 rounds, still 4 rounds. Now he's got a round. He's, you know, you can see the finishing line right now, but it's been tough for him in there. He's had his mental battles going on, whereas Aziz has been there before.
There'll be the big rousing speeches in both corners. Here's what Gareth Davies maybe will give his take on what they're going to be saying.
Well, I feel like I've been watching this fight for 4 or 5 days now. It feels like it's gone on so long. And as the great Burt Randolph Sugar, the late great Burt Randolph Sugar once said to me, it's one of those moments where I want someone to elbow me when the fight breaks out. Because it's been 11 long rounds. I've got Dan Aziz well ahead. I think he's forced the pace. I think Edmondson's been a spoiler. You can see Martin Bowers talking right now on the monitor to Dan, saying give it a big round, because as you said, Spencer, rightly, two of the judges might be seeing this in a different way altogether. But for me right now, Dan Aziz is ahead, and I'm just relieved that we're going to get to the last and final 12th round.
There's a bit of effing and blinding going on in the Edmonton corner. They are saying, get out there and knock him out.
Yeah, absolutely. And here they go for the 12th and final round. And Gareth's right in what he says. I said that Louis Edmondson will feel like he's been in there a week. We feel like we've been watching it for a week as well. Let's hope we get some good action here in the 12th and final round.
Well, Edmondson needs a big last round. He's feinting to throw the right jab, does get through, then tries to follow up with a body shot. Aziz falls short with his own left lead. We feel that Aziz is just about doing enough, but good punches off the ropes from Edmondson, lands 2 or 3 good scoring shots, and Aziz misses as he falls in behind his own left jab. This round could be decisive one way or the other. Edmondson back into the southpaw stance, feinting to throw the right hand lead. Aziz waiting for the Southampton man to commit himself. Right hand, left hand from Edmondson. He's up on his toes now, trying to feint and move this way and that, feinting to throw a right hand, trying to invite Aziz in. Aziz doesn't want to know, and Edmondson slips away out of the target range.
Yeah, just look back at Johnny Nelson, just ask him, just to get confirmation of who he thinks is winning this contest. He thinks Dan Aziz as well, puts his hands up, he doesn't really know, some of the rounds have been close, but he's leaning towards Dan Aziz. I think that's the general feeling as both guys go at it as we approach the 1 minute 30 second stage of this 12th and final round.
Yeah, and I think this 12th round so far is being edged by Edmondson, but remember that point deduction against Edmondson in the 8th round, how important might that be? Aziz ain't doing a lot in this last round. He's walking forward, feinting as though he's going to land punches, but then he's short of the target again and again.
Yeah, looking around at ringside here, no one really knows which way this one's going to go. It's been one of those contests, you're looking at it and you're going, you don't know who's winning the rounds. It's been a frustrating night for us, the viewers.
Well, we expect a more good right hand from Edmondson. Aziz takes it though and comes forward with a smile on his face, as much as to say, yeah, okay, you got through with that right hand, but it didn't hurt me. And he comes ploughing forward again. He's still not thrown any real punches though in this last round, which is emphatically going the way of Louis Edmondson.
Yeah, Edmondson clearly thinks he's won this one. He's moving around, hands down well. No, sorry. Landing some shots, good left hook. Aziz pushes it. 20 seconds to go, no one knows which way this is going to go, and I'm leaning towards Aziz, but Edmondson clearly thinks he's got this one.
Well, he ain't done a deal in the last round, Dan Aziz, I tell you, trying to find one meaningful shot that he's landed in the last 3 minutes, and he hasn't done so. There's a few boos and jeers as Edmondson taunts Aziz, trying to invite him in, drops his gloves. Edmondson thinks he's won it. Aziz gives him a little bit of a hug. Edmondson is being chaired aloft in his corner. His corner definitely think he's won it. Aziz in his corner, well, they think they've won it. It's that sort of a fight. They'll think one way or the other, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people here who are going to be kind of a little bit relieved that after 12 fairly undistinguished rounds, fairly relieved that it's over.
Yep, we sort of lived all the way through that one as well, didn't we? Tough fight to watch, styles never gelled. It's a very, very close contest. I'm going with Aziz. I think he's done enough. The work rate alone got that. I think that Edmondson was too negative in those early rounds. Had a good last round, that's for sure. But for me, one winner, Dan Aziz, I think he's done enough.
Well, there's going to be a bit of controversy either way, I think, because the Southampton corner, Team Edmondson, certainly celebrating as though they believe that they've done enough. But Martin Bowers has come across cool, calm and collected and shaken hands with his opposite numbers from the Dan Aziz corner, and there's no doubting that Aziz's corner think that they've won it. And Ben Shalom, the promoter, is going over to Team Edmonson and saying, well, look, I don't know, and let's keep a lid on this. Let's not go berserk when the verdict is finally given, because it really could go one way or the other.
Absolutely, this one of those contests, subjective scoring, what you like, what you went for. Ugly contest, if I'm totally honest, to be watching, you know, painful at times because the styles just didn't gel, which was a shame, because I think that we as fans thought that it was going to be a good contest, but just never caught a light. We've gone with Dan Aziz. We think he's done enough. Ben Shalom seems uncertain. He doesn't really know. He's just looked down to us. But yeah, for me, Aziz.
Sky commentary team reckon that Dan Aziz has just about done enough. That's the way we see it. Big Mo is now there with the scorecard, and we will get the verdict in a moment. Still, the Edmonton team are celebrating. Let's see. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 full championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards at ringside. Judge Victor Laughlin sees it 114 to 114. Judge Bob Williams sees it 114 to 113, and Judge Mark Lyson sees it 115 to 112, declaring your winner by majority decision and the new British and Commonwealth light heavyweight champion, Louis the Saint Edmondson.
Wow. You almost don't want to watch it back. A very, very unusual decision there. Dan Aziz pressing the pace the whole fight, but Louis Edmondson catching the eye of two judges there. Very, very strange for me.
He's only really got himself to blame there, Dan Aziz, with the way that he performed, especially in those middle rounds, but wow.
We said it was a very tough fight going into it
Tough fight to
because of the
score.
awkwardness.
Tough fight to score.
Because of the awkwardness of this guy, his gamble paid off, and the point deduction though as well.
Yeah, that's why.
In the 8th round, very odd for me.
So hang on.
Very odd score.
So one of those scores there is 115-112, right? With a point deduction, one of the judges has given him 8 rounds.
Yeah.
8 rounds to 4.
It's very strange.
Is Spencer still there? Can I grab him? Spencer!
Yeah, I'm still here, mate. I'm still here.
Talk me through that.
Well, listen, I was one of those. It's subjective scoring, wasn't it? It was so negative, you know, really. It was hard to score because you don't know what the judges were looking for. Edmonson was trying to nick it on the outside, which is clearly what the judges went for. For me, Dan Aziz was pushing forward, of course he was. Not really landing too much, but maybe that was enough to be nicking some of those rounds that were very, very close. Look, it was one of those fights that could have gone one way or the other. Edmonson gets it. Was it a robbery? No, it wasn't a robbery. But on my scorecard, I thought Aziz may have just nicked it.
I'll tell you what, Adam, what can't be argued against is that Edmonson found a way to dominate those last 4 rounds.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
it may well be that he took all 4, and by doing that, as the cards have panned out, by doing that, winning the fight.
Yeah, you might, yeah.
He's won ugly tonight, hasn't he, basically?
Yeah, but winning's winning at the end of the day. Like you said,
winning, exactly.
Like John's just said there, by round number 8, it may have been 4 apiece because it wasn't pretty. It was very, very difficult to score, and it was swaying backwards and forwards. But in the back end of the fight, he did put his foot down. And if every one of those judges, I'd love to see the cards, if every one of those judges had given him the last 4, that's probably how we've ended up with the situation. As I said a moment or two ago, Dan Aziz has only got himself to blame. Going into that fight, he's the favourite. Louis Edmondson has never been at that level. He's never fought that distance before. And I thought early doors he looked a little bit tentative. And it was down to Dan Aziz to impose himself on it. And Dan Aziz wasn't the same Dan Aziz that we have seen.
There were a couple of times during the night during the fight where he it looked like he was getting through the wall, but Edmondson changed his movement, changed his stance. Found himself awkward, had that point deducted, but the judges ringside, we see a different fight on the monitor.
Yeah.
Not a different fight to John and Spencer either. We've seen it quite similarly tonight, but good luck to him. He's beaten a guy who's a name. Louis Edmondson marches on.
Yeah. congratulations. The Lonsdale belt is wrapped around him in the light heavyweight division. Big fights await Lewis Edmonson. I'm sure there will be a bit of a fallout to that on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, and I'm sure the guys will be speaking about it throughout the course of the week as well. The big thing that they will be talking about tonight, though, is absolutely the performance of Adam Azim. He was sensational a little earlier on against Ohara Davies, getting the job done there and really propelling himself forward towards a fight, we hope, with Dalton Smith in the new year. Anthony Yarde, flattered to deceive a touch, maybe a bit of ring rust falling into that, but still, for us here in the studio and ringside, it's got to be a fight with Joshua Buatsi coming up next. Lots to talk about on the back end of that. Make sure you subscribe to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel for all the fallout from the Copper Box Arena, and there'll be plenty more Fight Sports Talk coming your way throughout the course of the week. Just a little final plug for the talkSPORT MMA YouTube channel, because Francis Ngannou is in action a little later on, and we'll have all the fallout from Saudi Arabia on the channel a little later on this evening. From myself, Gareth, Spencer and John Rowland, thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night.